And hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special episode of HPCritical's Does It Hold Up? The Mario Day special, because if you're watching this live, it is March 10th. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's still going to be fun anyway. But anyways, I'm your host, Brandon, and I am joined by a very special guest, a contributor at Comic Book Resources, Abram Buehner. Please tell me I said your last name right.
Yeah, you got it.
Perfect. All right, so Abram, I said this before stream, but for the viewers now, I followed your work since you went on to the Positive Players podcast with Grayson, who regular viewers know very well because he's been a guest many times on this show as well. And yeah, I had you on because you seem like a really nice guy. You definitely know your Nintendo. I've looked at some of your past articles. By the way, I didn't know until I read your specifically your Famicom Detective Club article that there was a third one in the Satellaview. I knew about 1 and 2.
Yeah.
That third one was like, excuse me?
Yeah, I fell down a rabbit hole writing about the Satellaview actually, and then the Famicom Detective Club stuff happened, and I learned about the third one at the same time too. So a lot of weird Nintendo history that I'm always constantly learning about, which just makes it being a Nintendo fan so fun.
I love Nintendo. I can definitely appreciate a good Nintendo rabbit hole. I have fallen into many of them over the years. So Satellaview in particular is always like a rabbit hole I enjoy going down because there's just so many interesting games there that just like don't exist at all because of the nature of that system or that add-on. And I really do hope a lot of those make their way in the future. But anyway, we're not here to talk about Satellaview. We're here to talk about Super Nintendo because it is Season 2, of course. And for Mario Day, we are checking out Super Mario All-Stars. Now, this game is very special in a lot of different ways. So, Nintendo these days don't really do collections like this that often. It's usually like during an anniversary, and this came out in 93, which I don't think was an anniversary for anything. Like, it just was, a Super Nintendo collection of the 4 NES Super Mario Brothers games. So that's just very hot, and they're all remade. They're all remade for the Super Nintendo graphics. They're all updated, and you get four Mario games. Then I can't emphasize enough how crazy it is that Nintendo did this back in the 90s for the Super Nintendo. But of course, the classics you're looking at, you have the original Super Mario Brothers, of course. You have Super Mario Brothers 2, you have Super Mario Brothers 3, and they also have Super Mario Brothers: The Lost Levels, which before this got released, this was not available to U.S. players. That was a Japanese exclusive. We can go down the long story of it being called Super Mario Brothers 2, but I think that's a story a lot of Nintendo people are already familiar with. So I'll spare you. But yeah, we have the 4 Super Mario Brothers games that were on NES/Famicom, all in one nice package. And yeah, this game was this was originally on Super Nintendo, but then on Mario's, I believe it was. I want to say this was like 2012 or 2011. The year escapes me. But they did re-release this game, just a straight port, onto the Wii with the Wii disc. I actually own that version. I didn't think to bring with me so I could show it off, so you'll have to take my word for it, I guess. But I have that. And then they released this on the Super Nintendo as part of the Nintendo Switch Online app. Very surprised that this is not also one of the games that is getting ousted at the end of March. But yeah. I'm happy that it's here to stay. That for once this game is actually easy to get, I suppose, because the Wii version also was not in stores for very long. It did eventually get pulled, and if you didn't get it, you didn't get it. So I'm happy that this is here, and I never thought they would either because they already have all 4 of these games on the NES service, which I've played them. So for them to put All Stars here too, nice little bonus. But
for sure,
that's I've said enough about it. A second. What is your experience with All Stars and the games included within?
So my experience with these games is interesting. It mostly stems from the Wii. My first experience with All Stars particularly was that 25th anniversary re-release of the game on Wii. My aunt had it, so whenever I'd visit her, I'd play it. I thought that was so cool because otherwise I had, of course, Mario 1, Mario 3 on the Wii Virtual Console. And I had experience with some of the other ones through Super Mario Brothers Advance, which for people who aren't familiar are basically actually modified versions of the All-Stars games on Game Boy Advance.
With voice acting for some cases.
Yeah, and some bizarre stuff like the advanced version of Mario 3 had e-reader levels, which are in the Wii U Virtual Console release of the GBA version of Mario 3, which gets complicated.
Yes.
But there's a bunch of weird stuff there. So I have a lot of strange history with All-Stars, so I'm excited we're talking about it today.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to talking about it. It's funny that you mentioned the advanced sports because that was my first time playing a lot of those games. It was my first time playing Super Mario Brothers 2, the original Advance. It was like I got it with my Game Boy Advance way back when. Um, I had played Super Mario World before, but I had never owned it. So Super
Yeah.
Mario Advance 2 was my first time owning the game. Same for Advance 3 and Advance 4. So yeah, that really was my first time checking out those games. It wasn't until years later that I got to play All Stars in that Wii port because I didn't own a Super Nintendo. My first was N64. So I did miss out on a lot of these cool Super Nintendo games that had come out at the time. But I'm happy that not only we can play it now, but a lot of people can easily. So yeah,
Yeah.
good to hear. So let's go ahead and run down the info on this bad boy. I'm gonna switch this over real quick. Okay, so Super Mario All Stars released in '93. It's the Super Mario 4-game collection of your dreams. Originally released for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System in 1993, this collection includes the Super Mario Bros., Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels, Super Mario Bros. 2, and Super Mario Bros. 3 games. Its audio and visuals were upgraded from the original NES and Famicom versions, and Super Mario Bros. 3 features a two-player battle game mode. That one I did not know about, so we will be taking a look at that when we get there. All right, let's battle mode. Wow, let's get right into it. I love that gold Mario coin that they have like right at the beginning.
Yeah, the presentation of this package is just so incredible. I love all the little animations and everything. I also I don't know how uncommon it is, but I prefer a lot of the All Stars versions to the originals. Actually, both aesthetically and in terms of movement.
I think I do too, but I guess we'll be able to confer that once I play it. We play it here. But let's go ahead into. Oh, that's right. You got to press start for a lot of these. I also love this menu music too, where it's just like a cute little Super Nintendo mix of like of the Super Mario Brothers theme. And you got all the box arts right here. Even the Famicom one, which is, that's really cool. That is, like, the presentation, honestly, of this game is really good. But yeah, let's go ahead and start right up to Super Mario Brothers, where it all began. Right, you gotta press start. You got a little 4 files. Man, it's been a minute. It's been a minute, Abram.
Yeah, I to be honest, since Mario Maker 2 came out, I don't go back to the straight classic Marios all that often.
Sure.
Because at this point, I've played them, I had my experience, and what you can do in Mario Maker 2 is so incredible. Exactly. So it'll be fun to go back to. I mean, this is the All Stars version, but quote unquote vanilla 2D Mario. So.
Sure. All right. So I'm a huge Luigi stan. So for that reason, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna switch player 1 and 2.
Okay.
That way, Yo will be the man himself, and then you can go ahead 2-player mode, and then I guess you'll be going first.
Oh shoot! Okay, this is a lot of pressure. Let's see how I do. Oh, that's no good. All right.
It happens. The pressure gets to us all.
The pressure does get to us all. The slight input lag gets to us a little bit also.
Ooh, yeah, I feel that input lag too.
Yeah. I'm not gonna immediately run down my next life now. We gotta see. You gotta blame lag a little bit when it screws you over, but also you gotta learn to play with it. And as a long time.
Yes. Lag is a dance that we all have to. Oh crap.
Yeah, especially if you're a Nintendo fan playing games online,
That's for dang sure. That is for dang sure, man. We're doing on the channel a full playthrough of Super Mario 3D World online I'm doing it with other writers on the website, and yeah, that is a dance you do have to learn.
I haven't taken that one online yet. I picked up the game on Switch because I loved it on Wii U. Played through Bowser's Fury, played through some of 3D World again in local play with my girlfriend and my roommate, but I haven't taken it online yet.
It really your mileage will vary, honestly. I will say it handles a lot better than Nintendo's traditional online games. Like it's pretty damn steady. But if one person does have a bad connection, then you will, get the lag. What's good about it is it's less lag than how do I put this? It will more stop you playing altogether than lag you. So you won't have to deal with lag inputs all that very often. If someone's like has a bad connection, it'll just stop the gameplay, and that could be in its own detriment in its own way. But I think I'd rather have that than input delay, honestly.
Yes. I mean, I'd rather have neither, and
Of
I feel like we
course.
should probably get to the point with Nintendo where we have neither. But I I will take what we can get. And
Exactly.
it's strange because we do get some pretty smooth online experiences. Like I have to say, Mario 35 online is pretty smooth,
Yeah,
and
honestly.
I'd like to hop back into that a little bit before it gets unfortunately delisted at the end of the month.
Yeah, that's on my list too before the end of the month as well. Look at you, see? You mastered
Yeah,
the
there we go.
dance.
There we go. Didn't
Neither of us could quite get the 5,000, but that's okay.
Yeah. I'm feeling a little bit of performance anxiety too because I'm not sure. So I live streamed a little bit of Sunshine when 3D All Stars came out, but other
Mhm.
than that, it's probably my only second time live streaming gameplay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I love hearing stories of stream newbies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is definitely something you feel the first few times. Hey, I'm not in sometimes. Like I still feel it now sometimes, especially when I'm doing something like really hard in the game. You know, then you feel the eyes kind
I
of coming
mean,
upon you.
if you say you played through all the NES games online, you played Ninja Gaiden on stream, so I'll give you credit for that one.
Thank
That
you. Like I did do that one. That was one of the ones I did have a guest over. I had Gabe.
yeah.
He's one of our writers. So we kind of took turns on that one.
Hmm.
And you know, it is definitely a hard game as its notoriety would state. But you know, I don't think it's as hard as people claim it is. Ninja Gaiden one specifically, like it's tough, but it's fair. And we were actually very impressed with how much story that game had. Like for an NES game, there was a lot going on, and it was intense. Okay.
Yeah, I actually played through it for the first time last year as well, and I loved how cinematic it felt. It really felt ahead of its time for being
It
an
really
NES
was.
game. And
It's another one that you might want to check out for yourself. It's also a ninja game on NES. It's called Shadow of the Ninja.
okay,
I had played that one with Grayson, and that's an NES game that feels like a SNES game
yeah,
in terms of the visuals. Like the font is very Super Nintendo esque, and it just has a oh wow, what, ooh, wow, okay. But it does feel like it has like a lot of the Super Nintendo polish. It even had like
yeah,
a simultaneous two-player mode. Now the simultaneous two-player mode does have a bit of like not lag, but there's a lot of stuff on screen, so there's definitely some screen flicker. You know, it is an
yeah,
NES game, so there's only so much stuff it can have on screen. So when we did have two players simultaneously playing, it was a lot of fun. But you definitely noticed sometimes it was hard to see things. Health
yeah.
bars were flickering. Oh, look at you.
So that game, I believe, actually was a direct inspiration for Cyber Shadow, which came out earlier this year, and I played and absolutely loved.
You'd be correct on
That's
that. Yes, that
yeah,
and Ninja Gaiden
that was a tough
were
one.
inspirations. There you go. That's what I was trying to do, and I just couldn't quite make it.
Yeah, I grabbed that warp zone. We got 4 Mario games to check out. We gotta be headed for
That's
World
what
8
I'm
as quickly as
saying.
possible.
That's what I'm saying. Well, man, you're talking ambitious here. Well, all the way to World 8, he says.
I don't actually think I've ever beaten Mario Brothers 1.
I've never beaten
Yeah.
this version, certainly, but
Okay,
I
we gotta get
have.
out of here.
Have you ever played Super Mario Brothers Deluxe on the Game Boy Color by chance?
I haven't. My first exposure to that was however many Nintendo World Championships ago it was when they played that.
Yes,
I know it.
yes. Okay, dude, I saw that Nintendo World Championship that had it, and I thought that was a hint that they were going to be porting it forward, which
Yeah,
I got to be real with you. Like visually, it still looks like the same as the NES original, but I think
yeah,
that is still today the definitive edition of Super Mario Brothers, and I'm just shocked that it hasn't been re-released ever, besides the Game Boy Color.
yeah. I would like to play it at some point. I'm pretty sure it's on 3DS Virtual Console.
Yes, it is definitely
So
there.
yeah,
Well, yeah, I
definitely.
guess it is on 3DS, but I'm just saying like they definitely like found a way to like make that come on like the big screen. Did they
Yeah,
use like a 3DS emulator? Is that what they were doing?
I believe actually it was Super Game Boys they used.
Wow. They actually brought out Super Game Boys for the. I wasn't paying too much attention to like the
Yeah.
system they're using. I was too busy marking out the fact that a 2015 or was it 2017 Nintendo World Championship had them playing a Game Boy game.
Yes, that was. I believe that was the year they showed off Odyssey gameplay, right? I think so.
Um,
I think that was the year when they had the final challenge being the like the ice subworld from the what is it, the Sand Kingdom, which is pretty cool.
yeah, that sounds right. If you're, so that might have been the because they did one in 2017. They did one in if I'm not mistaken, in 2018 as well, right?
Oh, they might have. I remember the one in 2015 because that's when they
Yeah,
really blew out a lot of information on Super Mario Maker.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I remember that. That they ended with Mario Maker as well.
Yeah. All right, 4-2. Now, one thing that I wanted to note and forgot to when you
Sure.
just went is that they actually added checkpoints into a lot of these levels. This is a pretty
Yep.
robust reimagining of these games.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think pretty much for the better. I know some people prefer the complete OG NES versions, but I just think these are so charming. I also just love the sprite work.
Oh
I'm a
yeah.
sucker for 16-bit sprites. I'm also a huge
Yeah,
sucker
same
for
here.
Game Boy Advance sprite
Mm-hmm.
work, which is just stunningly beautiful.
Super Nintendo games and Game Boy Advance games together, I think hold up astoundingly well graphically, in my opinion. Because, like you said, the
Absolutely.
sprite work is just so lavish in a lot of them.
Especially if you're playing Game Boy Advance games
Mm-hmm.
through Wii U Virtual Console.
Oh yeah.
Just beautiful games. I was playing Metroid Fusion recently, actually. Um,
Oh, was that your first time playing it, or
That was my first time playing it. Yeah, that
did
is
you
now
like
my
it?
favorite Metroid game.
Say that
I
again. I'm sorry.
really love. It's my favorite Metroid game now. I really
Oh,
loved it.
that's what I like to hear. Fusion was definitely my favorite for the longest time, and it might. If I divorce the Prime series from the regular Metroid, then I'd say it's my favorite. But if we don't, then I'd definitely say like maybe Prime or Prime 2 would be my favorite. Because
Yeah,
I just love the Prime gameplay. But
I
if we're
actually
talking,
played.
yeah,
I've played the Prime games to various extensive completion at various points in my life, but I finally played Prime One all the way through earlier this year,
nice.
um, and really enjoyed it. I didn't love it. I feel like it's got some growing pains that I'm excited to see
Yeah.
worked out across the whole series. But
Hmm.
man, just such a special game.
Oh, very much so. Very much so. I thought he was. Oh, come. Okay.
That was a clutch play. There was a lot going on there.
Yeah, there definitely was. Hoop, 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 hoop. Where's that finish line? Okay, there you are.
There you go.
Huh? Oh well, that was a pathetic jump, but we got to
You
the
know
end, and
what?
that's
You
we
got to
take
the
it.
end.
We take it.
With
We
no
take
one up
this.
at the top of the flagpole. You just get there. It's totally fine. 5,000 points, whatever.
Yeah, I must say we are doing astoundingly well, honestly.
Yeah.
Astoundingly
I,
so. All right,
I, I'm trying to make. Ooh, that's close. I'm trying to make up for my immediate death on my first life.
you're further
Um,
than me, so I'd say you've done that. Oh God,
uh-oh. No, we got
let's
this. It's
play.
okay.
Oh, there it is! Ha ha! Hammer Bro time!
There it is. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna need this to get. I'm so bad at timing the Hammer Bros hammers. Stop.
Oh,
Oh,
oh my
good.
God! You almost had what? That didn't kill him?
Yes, I was really banking on it killing him, but apparently not. Okay. Ooh,
All right,
come
this
on,
one
get
he
me.
can get you. There it is. There it is. There it is.
How about? I have to say, playing with the Joy-Con is certainly suboptimal right now, also. But
Yeah. Out of curiosity, do you own the Super Nintendo controllers that they released for the Switch?
oh shoot, no, I didn't pick those up because I have a 8-bit Do controller, which is
Okay.
really great.
Hmm.
I don't have it with me at college, unfortunately, um, but that's a great controller.
Oh God, I hate this. Okay. Thank goodness that Luigi doesn't have his trademark slippy slide in this
Yes.
game. Which, you know, as someone that uses Luigi a lot, that is a
Yeah.
constant struggle that I do live with in my life. The fact that I love Luigi, but and I didn't time that well at all. But the fact that I do
Yeah.
have to deal with that in most games that I play, the core ones, to be clear. All right, now we can just avoid
Speaking
the rest of this level.
speaking of Luigi, Luigi's Mansion 3, I think is such an excellent game.
I agree, but
Um,
I need to still finish it though.
I got the chance to review it when I was writing for a Nintendo,
Uh huh.
and it's such a special game. The animation is so great. Next Level Games
Fantastic.
really is next level, as the name would imply.
Indeed they are. They're fantastic developers for the series. Absolutely. What I love about Luigi's Mansion 3, like I've played both 1 and 2. 1 I've played multiple times, both the GameCube version and the 3DS version that they released a few years back. 2 though I couldn't finish though, not because I necessarily disliked it. It's just it didn't. How do I put this? Oh god, I felt like it had more quantity over quality. Like they had multiple mansions, which for me was a big selling point when they first announced that game and showed it off in trailers. But once I actually played it and had a more mission-based structure, which is more suitable to a handheld play, so I get it. But like if I found that I just couldn't get as invested into it as a result, just because it was kind of so spread out that way.
Yeah, that's the only Luigi's Mansion game I haven't played. I would like to at some point, but I was also a little bit turned off by the mission structure, just because I think the atmosphere and exploration that makes those games so special.
Exactly. The exploration, and that one is it's for better or worse. It's built for a handheld system, and it just didn't grab me as much as a result. Though it was fun to play. I just couldn't stay attached to it. But that's what I like about Luigi's Mansion 3, because it does a little bit of both, right? It does it has the multiple environments as you're going through the mansions, but also you're still going through one, I guess a hotel, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's just so good. I'm curious to see now that Next Level is a first-party team, if we end up with a Luigi's Mansion 4 next, or if we're going to get a Strikers 3 next, or if we're going to get something new from them entirely. I really don't know.
If I may be so bold, the one I would want the most for them is another Punch-Out game.
Oh, that'd be great.
Like I adore Punch-Out on Wii. I'm just gonna talk like it never happened.
Never happened.
Oh no! Well, can't ignore that one. He's just dead. Is Luigi pointing at me saying you suck? Looks like he's pointing. Oh no, Luigi! I'm sorry. By the way, let's talk a little bit about the backgrounds, like you were saying before. Oh my god, man! If it wasn't for the slightly different physics, I would definitely put this as like this is the way to play this game. They just look so good. Like visually, maybe not gameplay wise, but visually, it holds up significantly better than OG Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a charm just because of how iconic that game is to the 8-bit sprite work, but just the multi-layered backgrounds, the amount of surprising amount of shading and everything, this really brings the world to life. It's just such a great color palette.
Honestly. Hey, but let's talk about the fact that I got a game over, but I'm still at World 5. That's this game is definitely a lot more friendly to people in that regard.
Yes. It's good because I think that the NES Mario games needed a little bit of modernization, especially SMB1.
Yeah. Yes.
And of course, with the online app, you can give it a little rewind too for people who want a little bit more.
Oh yeah, that's true. You can do that.
I've certainly had to rewind my way through a fair share of these games, especially Ninja Gaiden. Speaking of what we were talking about before. But
I got a comment from my cousin who regularly watches my streams. He says, "So I got Skyward Sword off the Wii U eShop due to impatience, and it's pretty good so far." Hey, you know what? If you got the Wii U version, I can't go for it because that is still $20, and the Skyward Sword HD is $60. I'm still gonna get it though, and I'm curious to see what else they'll add into the HD remix to justify that price. But I get it. I do get it.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm of a couple different minds with this price point. I think that it's what people are gonna pay because it's what Nintendo's able to charge for their games. Their games are just timeless. They've got
Yeah, that was a bad jump. Continue.
They're timeless. They're worth full price. I really believe that Nintendo should charge $60 for their games. And if we get some good quality of life changes, then sure. It's going to depend on if this is, is this more of a Wind Waker HD type of situation where we're going to get some pretty robust changes, or it's going to be more like Twilight Princess where, it's going to be the better version of the game, but it's going to be pretty much the same. I think it's going to be the latter.
Yeah, based on what I've seen so far, it definitely looks more on like the Twilight Princess. What happened there?
We don't want that. Let's see.
think we're okay.
Yeah.
But by the way, before I continue though, you did start on the beginning of World 5, so it doesn't necessarily put you in the same level you were. So there is some penalty to the game over, which is nice. But at least you're not sent like back all the way to the beginning, which is nice. Anyway, what I was saying, yeah, it definitely seems to be more skewing to. Oh god, what have I done?
Oh, you got this. Ooh.
So I did that to try to like stop it from moving, and then I just didn't realize I was gonna ricochet it again. So it is what it is. But yeah, it definitely seems to be more like the Twilight Princess model. But it's worth seeing. Like you said, what are the quality of life things that they may end up adding to the game to justify that price point? You know, I can tell you that just having button controls alone is gonna help sell that game to a lot of people, because I personally enjoyed the motion controls, but I know it was a turnoff for many. So I get it. Oh, I just noticed the bullet bills when they fire, their arms are swaying. That's cute. Yeah, so, oh god.
I noticed on my last life what keeps tripping me up that I didn't put the other till now is that even if you hold down jump when you land on an enemy, you don't get a high bounce, which I'm so used to. Which is messing up my flow a little bit, but just something I get used to. I think gives these games a unique flair.
Yeah, I suppose so. Like it's definitely not one-to-one Super Mario Brothers, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. If you're a purist, it is, but you know, if you're just trying to play some fun Mario, like you could definitely do worse. Oh, yeah. Ooh, what is this? Interesting.
I didn't know that block was there.
I sure didn't either. And while it's not as iconic, I do like this the ground theme remix that's been playing the entirety of the time we've been going. Like, it's very Super Nintendo-esque, and I appreciate it for that. Oh, what have I done?
Oh my god.
That wall there is just a little evil, you know, just a smidge.
Alright, I feel like I'm getting too excited. I gotta slow it down a little bit here. As I...
Slide, sippity slide into that Koopa Troopa in that ice.
Yeah. It's definitely a unique game feel to get reacquainted with, for sure. But
in the words of Dimitri in Fire Emblem Three Houses, kill every last one of them. Shoot! The jump did not come out where I thought it was going to.
That's a great game, by the way. Three Houses.
Three Houses. So I've recently got back into it because I played it year one and finished the Golden Deer route, and then I started Blue Lion. But then I was like, I do have a lot of other games I need to be playing, so let me not do this whole entire route right now. And then I started the Cindered Shadows DLC a while ago and didn't finish that either. But I've recently come back to the DLC, and I'm determined to finish it this time. And most likely we'll be doing the Blue Lions route, finishing it up rather, when I finish the DLC. So I have a question then. What house did you choose?
So I chose Blue Lions.
Nice.
And I really enjoyed it. I play Fire Emblem on Classic, and I don't restart if I lose a unit, so I think I finished literally with like 4 characters in my party.
Oh my god. So that's going to be my next question in a second, but first I got a comment from my friend Chris saying, how's everyone doing? Chris, thanks for coming, and thanks for subscribing. You know it's always appreciated, my man. And I am doing great, man. I'm having a lot of fun. We're playing some Mario, talking Nintendo. It's great times all around. Abram, how are you doing right now?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing especially good because I go to class 4 days out of the week. So tomorrow is basically my Friday.
Nice.
So we're chilling, having a great time.
That's good to hear. Yeah. So which 4 survived? Obviously Dimitri and Byleth.
Yeah.
Was it literally 4 or is it like around 4?
Oh, I'm trying to remember. It was Dimitri and Byleth and Petra, I believe. I recruited her from another house.
Nice.
Oh, and then there's one, the healer. I'm blanking. Mercedes, I believe was her name.
Oh, Mercedes. Okay.
Yes, I believe it was those 4.
Wow, that sounds like a very sad ending. Like just like those 4 just like what did this war cost us?
Yeah, and I lost Mercedes in the final battle, and then Byleth goes to marry somebody, and there's just nobody. So what happens is Sothis will be like, hey, let's just, why don't we get married?
Yeah. I actually watched the Sothis one because I was so curious how does that happen? Yeah. How does the Sothis wedding work? For so many reasons. So I did watch that one online. The rest I'm like holding off on. that's not true. Some of them like I watch a lot of the male ones because I don't know if I'll ever do a playthrough where I'm playing like a female character. I may or may not. I'm not sure. So a few of them I've watched. You know which one is like surprisingly sweet? Ignatz. He's that boy. He's that glasses boy with the archer one. Him proposing to female Byleth is like the sweetest one by far. Like he looks like he looks like a nerd, but boy, he can pull up the sweet talk on. I was looking at him, I was like, whoa, Ignatz. If I ever do a female, it might have to be you, man. Like, ooh, he'll take care of you.
I also tried a little bit. I tried a little bit of Cindered Shadows. Also, I got to the final battle, which is just insane. It's one of the huge. I'm not going to spoil it, but one of the huge beast battles he gets introduced. And it's just, oh boy, I just couldn't do it. I was like, okay, I've had my fill. But that's a great game. I'm really hoping that Intelligent Systems gets another Fire Emblem on Switch soon.
Sure, yeah, I would like that as well. Or you know what what I really want is some of the ones that haven't been localized to get like either ported or remade.
That'd be great. That'd be really great if it was in the Echoes style, also like Shadows of Valentia on 3DS.
Yeah, for sure. Echoes is basically what I'm hoping for. Like, it would confirm what everyone was assuming, that Echoes was going to be like the branding for like the remix going forward, and I hope that's the case. The one I really want, there's a few, but the one I really want because a lot of people that either import or emulate it say it's really good is Genealogy of the Holy World, which is like the Super Famicom one.
Sure.
Everyone talks about that one, or Fire Emblem fans, that is.
Yeah, I'm one of those dirty modern Fire Emblem fans, so pre-Awakening I don't have too much familiarity.
And that's okay, okay. Awakening was a great gateway into the series for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I
would like to get more familiar with the older games for sure.
My first one, which I'm going to be real with you, is not the best first one to get into, was, I mean it is and it isn't, was the DS remake of Shadow Dragon.
Oh, okay.
And, you know, it's in some ways it's a good way to start off because I guess, you know, it's a remake of, you can crouch. Oh, that's right, of course. Duh, you're just Big Mario. I didn't realize it. Anyway, yeah. Shoot, what was I saying? Yeah, Shadow Dragon. In some ways it's a good way to start off because obviously it's literally the first Fire Emblem game.
Yeah.
But in other ways, like if you're growing up on games like Awakening and and Three Houses, which have this lavish tale, you really don't get that with Shadow Dragon. Shadow Dragon's story is quite bare bones, or rather the characters are the thing that makes it kind of bare bones. Like the story itself is passable, but the characters have like no background except for maybe 3 or 4 of them. Like Marth, of course, gets good care in the story. Tiki gets good care, but she can die, and then you ruin the story for yourself if she dies later in the game. Sita, which is Marth's betrothed, she's so important, and you get her early, but she can die, and that significantly weakens both the story and the gameplay, because now you'll get less cutscenes because she's dead, and Marth talks to her often, and also it weakens the gameplay because there's characters that can only be recruited by her. So if you if she dies, like your Shadow Dragon experience is going to be worse.
Yeah, what's interesting about those games is how much more heavily they focus on the core gameplay, and it's not so much of the romance, which I know is divisive for more classic Fire Emblem fans, but I think that like interpersonal character customization and everything is part of what makes Fire Emblem so compelling. So I don't know how much I would connect with just straight up classic tactical Fire Emblem, but I definitely could try it. Sure.
And you know, I guess it's just the games over time just got better at the storytelling. How did that hit him?
I don't know how it went on the
that looked like you collided with him. Okay. It's like, what was that? What time is it? We'll probably, in the next game over, we'll probably go ahead and move on to the next one.
Sounds good.
But yeah, like, it's hard. It is hard. Like, Shadow Dragon is just, you know, the gameplay, and it is a DS remake, so there's a lot of quality of life improvements, but if you're looking for story, Shadow Dragon won't really give that to you, unfortunately. But the next one I got into was Fire Emblem Awakening, and I love Awakening. It's great. It's a good story. It had the casual mode, which is what I played because I was terrified of. That was the one thing that was like also turning me off of Shadow Dragon. I know that's like a core thing in Fire Emblem, the fact that your characters die, but
Mm-hmm.
it was actually making. Oh, you're up to Bowser. Ooh.
Yes. It's getting intense now.
Oh wow, that fireball came like way faster than I thought it was. Oh my god! That fireball is not only really long, but it's so fast. Why is it so fast?
It was
What demon is getting that mushroom?
I was. It was it was surprising. I tried getting in the zone, but you know, there's only so much you can do.
This Hammer Brothers is the bane of my existence right now. I'm just, you know, I'm gonna say that. Ah.
All right, I'm hoping that before we move on. Oh, come on.
Yeah, you gotta go.
Oh, boy, I really wanted that mushroom.
I feel it. I do feel it.
I would love. Oh!
Oh man.
Wait, I'm too excited. I really would love to impress your audience by finishing World 5 before we move on to the next title, but might not be in the cards.
Oh, that was impatience on my part. we shall see what happens though.
Okay, we got 4 lives. I'm not gonna write us out yet.
Wait, why is the frequency of the fireballs changed?
Oh gosh, I thought that I could. That's real long.
That bar is,
I thought
that bar is really long.
But I'm gonna take my time.
What's that?
3 lives. I'm gonna take my time. I feel confident.
Okay, I feel it.
I'm feeling good about it.
Ah, Bill Blasters, you gotta love them. Don't mind me, I was just admiring the Bill Blaster. Yeah, the jump timing on these jump pads are quite different. Hammer Brothers, man. Well, that's me.
Okay, let's see. We're gonna
you got 3 lives.
What?
I have faith.
Right,
I have great faith in the boy.
Boom, boom, boom. Okay, we're not even gonna take it. Go, go, go! Oh boy.
Oh my god, I couldn't breathe for a second.
All right. These are short. I got time on the clock. This is all good. We're good here. Let that one go by.
You got this. I see the flames already.
All right, Bowser.
Make Bowser beg.
No. Not the only thing we're gonna grip.
I like the Bowser posters he's got in the background, the portraits rather.
Yes. I could start having more portraits of myself around my home.
You know, if I ever owned a castle, you know, maybe a few like painted portraits would be nice, I suppose.
Yeah.
Not so much, you know, if I don't own a castle, but you know, if something happens in my life that gets me to castle, then you know what, I will get a portrait, painted portrait.
I mean, here in my dorm room, I feel like that might be a little bit strange, you know, but I got a little bit of a place of my own.
Just a tad vainglorious, but you know. Oh my god, I can't believe I did that. That. I guess I'm getting pretty good at 5-1 at this point. Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought? Alright, take your time. I'm starting right at the beginning, huh?
Give it to me.
Look at you!
There we go. Okay. I always think that Mario looks like Mickey Mouse when he wears this sprite, these overalls.
The red pants. Yeah, you're not wrong. I can't unsee it now.
Ever since I was a little kid, I thought that. Oh, come on.
Look at you. Look at you. Look at you.
Oh.
Listen to this music. It's okay.
Oh, just go. Yeah, there we go. Well, you know what? If we move on, at least we defeated Bowser one time, so we didn't even see him.
They're hitting a sec. Wait, it's multiple Toads. Wow, interesting.
Another fun little touch of the All Stars version. So we saw at least one Bowser.
That's good. We will take those. All right, I'm just gonna put this here. Oh wait, hang on. I guess we leave by resetting.
Yeah.
That seems to be the way. Okay. So let me go ahead and just adjust the title because we're going to be moving on to the Lost levels next.
Cool. Now this one, I'm not sure I've played for more than 10 minutes here or there.
Yeah, this is definitely a tough one that we're going to be playing right about now. So, very interested in seeing how we survive.
Now, I don't want to spoil anything for our last segment here, but that held up for sure.
Yeah.
That held up.
For sure, it definitely did. Oh, we can switch back now, I suppose. Because this one is not as dependent on the player 1, player 2 thing.
All right.
Right, you gotta press start. It's so weird. Oh, peep this music.
You know what? Oh, you know what I can do? Look at this. We'll go double headphones so I can pop. Here's some of that direct feed music.
Oh, I really like this. It's so peaceful, but you know that it's just not going to be when you play it.
No.
Like the poison mushroom alone. At least in this version, the poison mushrooms are a lot more. It's a lot easier to observe them.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do is, for those who don't know, Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels does not have a local 2-player mode the same way that original did. Instead, you have Mario game and Luigi game. And essentially, what you get with that is Mario is, he controls the same way he did in Super Mario Bros. Original. Whereas if you play Luigi game, I was mentioning this a little bit when we were playing the first one, that Luigi jumps higher, but he has less traction. You can kind of see it as a harder mode because, Lost Levels does rely more on like pitch perfect platforming. So if you're sliding a little bit and you're not ready for that, you could end up slipping off the ledge. So if you want to make this tough game or even tougher on yourself, then by all means give yourself a challenge with Luigi game. For the sake of just going through the games though, we're gonna do Mario first, a little bit of it, see how far we can get, and then we'll try out the Luigi game just so we can demonstrate the differences. So.
I mean, when I think of Lost Levels, I think of the need for a hard mode, so I'm sure glad they added that one into it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, thanks for the intro for telling me about this poison mushroom that I will promptly ignore. Oh man. I always find it hilarious when I struggle at a game and then people tell me it was too easy. Like that's just like, all right, thanks man. I appreciate that. I'm going to go to our analyze and then I will pass the baton to you. I think it'll be easier that way.
Yeah, whatever works. This is fun because this is pretty fresh to me. I think I've just been scared off by the legacy behind this game.
You'd be right too, because it's well deserved. I can tell you that.
It's really interesting seeing the different sequel design philosophies of this era. You had some iterative sequels like this, the Mega Man games are about the archetype for, third generation iterative sequels, but there are so many sequels that were completely different from the original game. Zelda to Zelda 2 is a great example.
Yep, that's the big one.
Yeah. Mario to Mario 2 USA, but that game is, what it is. But there's just so much experimentation in the third generation, which makes it really interesting. It makes it not always hold up, but it's a fascinating chapter of the industry's history.
I agree. I 100% agree. All right, let's see how the first underground level holds up in terms of hardness, difficulty. Let's do this. So right off the bat, we're starting off with paratroopers. No blocks to be found. Big jump already. So that's nice. I couldn't quite make it. Harder to get the running start in this version, I noticed. Yeah. So I'm going to attempt it another way. First, let me just...
Oh, there we go.
That's the one, yeah. Because there's not quite enough running on that little block there. So I'm pretty sure that every single pipe is going to have a piranha plant of some kind. Which, a lot of them did in the original too, but I feel like here, it's just always expect it to be a thing that happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very similar, especially contextualized in All-Stars. It really does feel just like more Mario 1, but then you start playing it and you realize this is a very different design philosophy.
Yep.
What we got in the first game, which it just was very curious that Nintendo decided to go this route in Japan.
It is for sure. It's not. It seems to be. It does seem to be quite different from the Nintendo we know today. Yeah, because they're very much about making sure everybody can play. Almost everyone can play as many of their games as possible. Oh my God! Okay. I can't believe I did that in one-ish try. I feel like somebody's gonna sneak. Oh my God! See, even that that pipe I just came out of had one, and if you just dally, you're just gonna get your butt bit.
Nintendo's philosophy is usually, easy to pick up, difficult to master. This game's just difficult. That's it.
It's interesting. Oh my god, this is the one that has the floating bloopers. Yes, that's a little design wrinkle. Oh my, what? That jump! What is that? I was like, and I couldn't stop. I was like, no. I still couldn't make it. I feel like that one is easy with Luigi, but I guess we'll see. My light keeps falling. Oh, but you can save and continue.
Oh, cool. This is a game that needs that for sure.
Oh, neat. Oh, wow. That's really cool, actually. In that case, let me do something a little... That's pretty cool, actually. I'll be switching over to you in a second.
Yeah,
I will bequeath file B to you. Yeah.
Sounds like fun.
Okay, let me give you that. And you can do the Mario game, and then once you've done your lives, we'll do the Luigi temp. Let me fix my light.
Good.
I don't know why it keeps falling.
Oh, okay. There's a mushroom, but how am I gonna get into?
Oh, so there's one. Cool.
It's not in an ideal place. I would really like.
It may be too, okay.
Because I'm gonna scroll up. Oh.
Yeah, that's painful. You can.
That's definitely a function of. Yeah, that's their generation. Oops, we can't really hold enough data to look backwards to go to the left because I'm right there. But we don't need it. We'll be fine. He says, as he plays the lost levels.
We don't need mushrooms in the lost levels, as you so eloquently stated, Abram. Yeah, when you look at this game, you think it needs a hard mode. Oh boy, we're talking about the fact about how different this is it's weird that this game exists, right? It's made for people that play Super Mario Bros. It's kind of like a hard mode. A game like this probably wouldn't exist today. In fact, it doesn't, because you don't necessarily need to make a whole separate game to be a hard mode version of your existing game. You would just with a Mario game, certainly there's hard levels. If you're going for the 100% in say Odyssey or Galaxy, there's hard levels to challenge you to make that 100% difficult. What the heck? You stopped at 2 at once? You made it up there.
I want to be careful because I don't know where this ends. Not familiar with this layout, but I would love to not have to deal with literally any of that.
Yeah, it wasn't fun. I don't know how I did it. Oh! Oh my god! That
platform ceased to exist. Okay.
Yeah. Those platforms, they're dire, to say the least. But yeah, or some games will even go about the rules hey, you want something really hard? Here's some DLC, free or otherwise. But I think the last main example of Nintendo making just a separate game as a hard mode would probably be Ocarina of Time Master Quest.
Yeah.
Which I did do on the 3DS, and boy, some of those puzzles are tough. Here's the flying bloopers.
Yeah, he was making me a little bit nervous. I don't. How are we? Okay, I guess I'm just gonna.
Ooh. Nice! Ooh!
I'll do that.
Yikes!
The Master Quest is so interesting. I actually was able to. I found in my GameStop last year the bonus disc, the GameCube bonus disc.
Are you serious? That's so hard to find.
Which was crazy. It was only $30. I'm nervous to even open this. Oh, it's actually one. Oh, it's gone. So that was really crazy. That was during that weird phase where GameStop was kind of selling retro titles.
I remember that.
But I got lucky enough to find it. And
where'd you go?
We're making some progress. And played a little bit. That's such a... Man, that was so interesting. I can only imagine getting that disc as a bonus. So cool.
Yeah, as a bonus. That's what blows my mind. They don't do stuff like that anymore. That kind of value is a pre-order bonus. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
A whole game?
Shoot. Oh shoot.
That'd be like I don't know if this is a perfect comparison, but it'd be like if you pre-ordered Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury and got 3D All-Stars as your pre-order bonus.
Yeah.
Nice! Look at you!
There you go.
Where'd you go?
So I wonder, is it just toads again in this bag? One toad. Okay.
I think it depends on what level world you go to.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you're right.
You finished World 5, and there's like 5 toads in the back, so maybe that's what it is.
That's a great point.
Oh, look at the night sky. Look how beautiful.
I can't tell if the jump is... I don't think the jump is very different. I'm used to night... Oh, that was... After getting through World 1, not a great way to live right there.
I wouldn't complain. Because you're so far you're rocking this difficult Mario game right now.
Again, I had to make up for my very first life on stream, dying to literally the first Goomba that I could possibly...
And now you've redeemed yourself. You've gotten over the jitters, as it were. And now you're just ascending to literally the stars.
I can only imagine, though, what it must have been like in '93 to get access to this.
Can we talk about the fact that there's water in this level?
Whoa! Where did I go? I don't know where I am. I honestly have no idea where I am.
Whoa! What?
I don't know.
But the reason why I bring up the fact that there's water is like in OG Super. Oh, careful! In OG Super Mario Brothers, there was no levels that. What is going on here? There were no levels that had both water and land in the same. It was like a pure water level, or it was pure land.
Yeah. Okay. Wait,
so the fact that this game marries both that's a technical improvement. Which this game, like for the most part, Lost Levels is just hard version of Super Mario Brothers. But that's a legitimate technical improvement that the first one just didn't have.
Yeah, I mean, this game I believe came out in '86, so Nintendo clearly learned a lot in just that 1 year. Even if they applied some strange lessons to this game, for sure.
Strange lessons is definitely right.
Oh boy. Right into Koopa's neck. That's alright.
You still got a few lives.
I gotta stop trying to rely on that high bounce I don't have anymore. I'm a big fan in especially Donkey Kong Country, but also 2D Mario. Just bouncing really high off of enemies just makes me happy. But I can't do that. Ooh, boy.
That was a tough jump.
I'm not optimistic about me making this work. Oh,
oh man, look at this jump. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I can feel the difficulty of that jump. I can feel the difficulty. And have we seen a single checkpoint in the Lost Levels? Maybe they just didn't have one to make it harder.
Yeah, I'm not... Again, this is the one in the collection I unfortunately don't really have the familiarity with to speak on like that, but I'd imagine actually that they might have them. It would be strange to not, but again, it speaks to the fact that this is just a... Ooh,
oh man, you did the jump perfectly.
Do I have a checkpoint? No.
No. What checkpoints? I don't need those.
Why would I need one? This game is not hard, apparently. That's why we have a hard mode.
The game is the hard mode. No, it would be, but then Luigi's also there, so the hard mode has a hard mode. And then you can just get no power-ups and then just make it harder hard mode. This game, man.
Oh, well, there we go. I'll head back to the menu.
Okay. Well, then we will be giving the Luigi mode a try. So let me go ahead and switch this back.
Sounds good.
Oh boy, this ought to be a gas, as they say. Here we go, as Mario would say, and Luigi would also say. All right, yeah, that's a high jump, all right. And yeah, if you move, it does take him a second to stop moving. Indeed, indeed. Let's see if I can do this. Yes, sir!
Oh, nice. I didn't even think to do that.
Ooh, yeah, Luigi definitely feels a bit looser, but I do appreciate the extra jump power. Ah! Oh! There it is! There it is! The slip got me! Right as I was praising him, he comes and gets me. He comes and he came for me. He came for the throat. Okay.
It is cool, at least, that Nintendo decided to give Luigi his own physics for this release.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Both both versions of Super Mario Brothers 2 are responsible for giving Luigi his trademark higher jump than Mario.
Yeah.
Which, knowing the history of how those games are, that's a complete coincidence, and that's just awesome that it just happened to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh!
Now
Okay.
this is barely related, but we're talking
What happened?
almost. If we're talking 16-bit games, did you happen to see the announcement of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge this morning?
Yes, sir. I am so unbelievably excited for that because, like, Luigi, did you see how high above the flagpole he just got? Like, this man can jump. Yeah, no, dude,
Yeah.
I'm very excited for it. I love the art style. I've seen the odd episode of the 80s Ninja Turtles, but where I actually got into the series was loosely in the 2003 era, that Ninja Turtles show. And not even like in the beginning necessarily. Like where I got into that was like, okay, hang on, let me see what Luigi can really do here. Hoi! Wow, that was effortless, man. Yeah, there's, maybe it was a bit premature to say that this is just a hard mode. Some parts are certainly harder, certainly, but like parts like this where it's just like the precise jumping, that's actually easier with him. It just depends on what part you're doing, I suppose. But no, dude, I'm very excited about it. I got into the Turtles with that series. I watched the Nickelodeon one that was on which I actually really enjoyed. I'm a huge especially after the 2013 one. I'm a huge Donatello fan. So when that game comes out, I'm just gonna check it out.
Yeah, I'm very excited. That it's really the perfect storm of talent, of game style. I'm on the younger side for sure. So the 2003 show was on when I was a little kid.
Not quite. Didn't quite make it.
That's
Well,
just
this is the end of the level. We're gonna prove right now. See if there's checkpoints. There are checkpoints. Okay,
Yeah.
it just depends on the level. Okay.
Yeah, so I grew up with the 2003 show. I've got a lot of nostalgia for the Turtles, and of course this game is drawing so heavily on Turtles in Time, which is the arcade beat 'em up that people love, which I've played a very little bit of, but this looks great. It's being developed by Tribute Games, who did recently Panzer Paladin, which is a really great game. I gotta try that at PAX, actually, before the world just became what it is now. Yeah. And being published by Dotemu gives me a lot of hope, because Streets of Rage 4 was so good. So I just can't wait for Shredder's Revenge.
Oh, yeah. And I can't emphasize enough how much I love that art style of it, too.
Yeah.
Just like, it looks so good. It just visually looks so good. And I played a bit of the Mutants in Manhattan, the one that came out on like PS4 and such. It certainly wasn't a terrible game by any means, but it just didn't quite have the polish I was looking for in a Ninja Turtles game, which, is made by Platinum, so I definitely expected it would. But it's not a bad game. I just want to make that very clear. It's just meh.
The Transformers game Platinum made was pretty good.
I hear good things about that. That got people that weren't even into Transformers to buy that game, just because they like Platinum weren't getting because it got good reviews.
Yeah, there was a PS Plus game 1 month, I remember, which is how I ended up playing. But
oh, was it?
Go.
Oh man, I missed that. I would have loved to have gotten it while it was PS Plus, but oh well.
On to 1-3. Back to the red bloopers.
Yeah, these red bloopers. These sky bloopers. Yikes! Yikes! Okay. Luigi slipping and sliding all over the place. Yeah! Okay. Okay, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the difficulty. Oh man, yeah, Luigi. He's a slippery one indeed. Okay. Save and continue, because I think it starts from world. Oh no, world 1-3. That's right, because it's a save and continue. Okay, so let me hit that actually. I forgot. That's my mistake. I'll switch it back over to you.
Now, it's definitely not going to work in our favor having our muscle memory change for such different physics in lost levels, but as a player, I can imagine back in the 90s getting the cartridge and mastering Mario Mode, getting to play the game in this new context as Luigi must have been really great.
Honestly, yeah. I could imagine that too.
Yeah. Alright, Luigi game.
Luigi game.
Oh boy. Yeah, this is definitely different. Now I'm gonna steal your strat here.
Yes, go for it. You gotta hit it from the left.
Yeah.
There. Yeah. You're almost there. I think you might want to try from the there. Okay, that works too. What I was gonna say is, I'm really hoping that the Ninja Turtles games has online play.
Yes.
Because I really. Who's your favorite turtle, by the way?
I would have to say my favorite is Leonardo, but mostly because when I was a little kid, he was like, "Yeah, he's the blue one. I like blue."
Blue's my
But
favorite color too, so I can understand that.
yeah, from a personality level, though, I would say probably Michelangelo.
Yeah, I feel that as well. I think, especially in the 2000, if we're talking specifically 2003 Turtles, it's Michelangelo. I love Michelangelo's portrayal in the 2003 show. It was great.
Yeah.
His voice actor was incredible. Like every time he had to scream like a girl, it was like it was great. Did you watch the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? What was it? Fast Forward season.
Oh, I don't remember. Unfortunately, I haven't watched it since I was a little kid.
The Fast Forward season, that's what really got me into the 2003 show because I didn't watch it first. So I guess for someone of my age, I suppose, I was somewhat of a late bloomer to the Ninja Turtles phenomenon. I just didn't know, I didn't get it. But I watched that 2003 show here and there. I was like, yeah, this is all right. And then I watched that Fast Forward because I really liked the aspect of them going far into the future and having like these futuristic weapons. And that was what really got me into it because then I went back and watched some of the older ones and I'm like, yeah, this is a good show. Turtles are cool, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Michelangelo in that cartoon was incredible. He was definitely the highlight of that show for me. Where my Donnie love came in is actually from the 2013 show because I love Donatello's portrayal in that show. I think I have a Donatello like a plush like hanging on my wall right now. Actually, I got that like at what was the name of the place? Dave & Buster's. Oh wow, look at you with the strats, crouch jumping. Okay, Abram. But yeah, anyway, I went to a Dave & Buster's with some friends some years ago, back when the show was still airing, and they had like all the Ninja Turtles, and the plan was for all of us originally to get like a different like turtle, but I'm the only one that actually committed to that and got the Donatello. I was like, well, all right, I'll just I like Donatello, I'll just hang on to it, I guess.
So I'm from a more rural area of Maine, so Dave and Buster's really wasn't a thing where I grew up, but I go to school near Boston now, and we go into Providence to see movies, my girlfriend and I, and next to the movie theater there was this Dave and Buster's, and we were always saying we're gonna go sometime.
Oh yeah.
And then the pandemic hit, and Dave and Buster's doesn't sound as ideal right now. So.
No, I certainly haven't been since everything shut down for sure.
Yeah.
But I definitely want to go back because, we were just talking about an hour ago about Luigi's Mansion. They have an exclusive Luigi's Mansion arcade game in Dave & Buster's, actually. Developed by Next Level Games. And it's incredible. I played it with a friend. There's also 2-player mode. Like, they have a vacuum, a poltergust, rather, that each person can hold. And it actually shakes as you're catching the ghost. It was very immersive. I actually really liked it.
Oh. I've always wanted to play that. I've also always wanted to play Mario Kart Arcade.
That's really fun too.
Play that either.
I've played that one. I've gone to enough arcades that had that game that I actually ended up getting really good at that game actually. Which I can't say that about many arcade games because but I enjoyed it so much that I kept playing it every time I went to an arcade that had it, and that's how I eventually just kind of worked out in that favor. Oh boy. There's so many paragraphs.
See, as Luigi. Oh no! Got too excited. Now Now you're telling me I can land in the water.
I mean, I see water there, and I'm assuming it works the same as it does in the water levels.
Yeah.
So if you'd like to test that, or if necessity forces you to test it, then yeah, I guess we'll know.
Let's find out. No.
What? It's a trap! Oh no, it's just visual flair. They didn't actually add water physics to this game. I mean, to the land levels. Oh no.
Well, that's a good thing for purposes of filling the audience in on All Stars. Now we know.
I guess so. We'll let them know that the water is a lie.
We cannot go swimming.
We cannot go swimming. Oh my god. Now that platform looks much more scary now.
Yes.
Like I was going through it confidently when I was playing through it, and I was like, "Oh, this is too bad." And now the truth is known. But I really do appreciate that it has a save and continue feature. So you know what? It's a hard game, but as long as you're persistent with it, you can stick with it. and that's cool.
Yeah. Oh. Well, there we have it.
And there we have it.
I suppose. Does that mean it is Mario 2 USA time?
It is indeed that time. So let's go ahead and switch that over, actually. Let me see. I'm going to start player 1 and 2 for a second. Oh, wait, did I? Oh, no, what am I doing? I meant to reset the... Oh, I'm already at the title screen. Oh, I'm all over the place.
I will say that Toad's sprite is a little bit uncanny on the home screen. It's very small.
I'll have to look at it again when we get back there. I didn't notice, but I'll check in a second. Let me just update the title. Oh, that's neat. When you input like Super Mario Brothers 2 on Twitch, it asks you if you actually meant the lost levels.
Oh, nice.
But in this case, we do mean 2. All right, so here we go. Super Mario Brothers 2. So, I actually completed this game for the NES original, that is, for the first time last year, like late last year. I had done an episode of it by myself for Does It Hold Up? And I was really enjoying it to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do a playthrough of it, and I did. It gets pretty tough near the end, though. I did have to use suspend points quite a bit to make sure I didn't have to redo like entire levels over and over and over again. But it was a fun experience. I think this game is definitely worth completing if you enjoy it. But it's also very much the black sheep of the original Super Mario Brothers series, because again, I'm not going to go into it because most people who know have already heard the story 1,000 times, but this was, of course, another game entirely that just got adapted into Mario so that U.S. players could have an actual sequel to Super Mario Bros. 2 that wasn't like a hellish sequel to the first one.
Yes.
All right, so...
Now...
What were we going to say?
Well, I was just going to say that I never really gelled with the game just because of how different its gameplay style is, but one of the cool things that we just saw on the level select screen is that, or character select screen rather, is that the characters actually have different attributes that feel... We saw it a little bit just a second ago in Lost Levels, but here you really feel it with Toad's speed and Peach's floating ability and Luigi's persistent flutter kick and Mario being Mario.
Yes, and I do like that about this game too.
Of course, I think the game's okay. It's not my favorite, but as a very big video game donkey fan, this game holds a special place in my heart.
Oh yes, and I think I saw that one. Grab this mushroom here. Grab the coins because we need to play at the arcade later. Okay. Okay, here we go.
It is interesting for essentially a non-Mario game how much of its aesthetic and its gameplay concepts informed later Mario titles.
Yeah, honestly, like the Shy Guys, throwing would come back in some Mario games, still not necessarily all of them.
Birdo
for sure. There's a lot of enemies in this game that haven't ever come back in a Mario game, but there's a lot that certainly have. I slipped. Oh, darn it. I'm going to stick with him, though, at least for this level. Oh, man, I was doing so good, too. I was really feeling the flow. Honestly, this version handles really well.
Mm-hmm.
Like remarkably so, actually.
Oh, I always forget. I can clap for you.
Yes, thank you. I can't really do that because I'm actually using the Super Nintendo controller, but or I don't think I can. 2 of them, huh? I didn't see that before.
I've spent a lot of time evangelizing the fact that we need a Joy-Con L with a D-pad, and I really hope we get that eventually.
Honestly, yeah.
I mean, you think with how much people love buying Joy-Con and how much Nintendo loves making money, you just put out a little optional Joy-Con L with a D-pad. I think people would buy that right out. I certainly would.
So, our dear website founder, Jarrell, has so many Joy-Cons. So I think he would concur with your statement. He would probably buy them instantly if such an option became available.
Yeah, I have like 6 pair of Joy-Con.
I have a few myself. I don't think I have a ridiculous amount by any means, but certainly more than maybe the average Switch person does. Oh, time clock. I like the Ninjas. The Ninjas, I'm happy, came back in later Mario games. Mostly because in later Mario games, they're like not evil. They're actually quite cute.
We were talking this on Twitter a little bit earlier today, but you were bringing up Paper Mario, and I really love, for as divisive as the modern Paper Mario games are, they do so much fun stuff with animation and the paper concept, and the ninjas are so fun how they fold themselves into throwing stars in some of the later Paper Mario games. I really love that.
It's true. What the? Where does this lead? I don't think I've ever been this way. Am I skipping right to the... What?
Oh, look at that.
Interesting. I didn't know that was a thing. Well, I skipped like much of the level, so yeah. I remember in Super Mario Advance, the lines that Berto would say. He's like, "This is as far as you go." The later ones would be like, "Oh, I'm gonna finish you off." I forgot what the last line was.
Yeah. It's so interesting that Advance 1, being Super Mario Brothers 2, pretty much launched the Game Boy Advance. That and the F-Zero title were the main Nintendo things at launch, which is... It's a niche lineup for sure, but interesting games.
For sure. Cherry. Well, that's right. This game is weird about what it will give you and what it won't. Nice.
There you go.
Cool. Well, that one didn't do it. Well, the next level is yours. I think that's how we'll do this one.
Okay.
Choose whatever character you'd like.
I'm gonna go for Toad.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, we're gonna have this moment every Mario game.
Now I know there is... Wait.
There's nothing. You have to use the pigeon.
Alright, we're gonna have a little trial and error here at the beginning of 1, 2, apparently. Alright, come here. Are you gonna come to me? Or...
Oh yeah.
No?
Then you gotta like lift them up once you get that. And then you can go on a magic carpet ride, a whole new world. A dazzling place you never knew.
It's not B to... Yeah, this is another... Hello? I forgot how to pick people up. This is really... This is really a chaos... This is a way to begin my... I was gonna be, I'm gonna come in here and play this Mario game and forget. Is it down in A to pick people up?
I'm not sure how it's done on the Joy-Con.
Okay. Well... Come here.
That pitch is really giving you the business.
This is... You know what? I was feeling real good after Lost Levels. But... Come here. We'll just hide you. No. Come here.
I don't... Fine. You gotta find the grab button. There it is. You found it.
Okay. All right. You know what? Okay. Your audience now knows that perhaps this game holds up, but they certainly know that my skills at Mario 2 do not hold up. There we
go. Ooh, yeah,
okay.
Yeah, okay.
I'm hoping. Can I find some health or kill some ninjas or?
You didn't go to the door.
Okay, we need a key. How about down these? Oh, no.
There's the key, and then you gotta deal with the Phantos.
We can deal with Phanto. I prefer to not have to deal with Phanto, but we can do it. Okay.
Sniffits. Oh. Another Mario mainstay. Maybe not as prevalent as Shy Guys, certainly, but they've been around.
Alright, you know what? I was feeling really not great about how we began here, but now we're doing okay.
Yes. I feel the power growing within you. Oh, that was a mistake, though.
That was a big mistake. I really thought I was gonna pick him up, and then he was gonna die. But that's the sort of thing I would learn if I played more Mario 2. Come here. I don't need that bomb. It really is. It is interesting. Probably humorous for your audience and interesting for me to go between such disparate Mario styles back to back.
It is, yes, for sure. Like, that's the cool thing about going to All Stars in particular, because it's 4 different Mario games, certainly. So
Yeah. Go that way. What's gonna be through? Oh, well, okay. We'll never know for sure. Let's do that. This might not be good. Okay, hold on. No.
Worst case, if you can't, you can always. I think you can reset by going through at least the first door.
Yeah, we might have to. Ooh. Well,
That's how you continue. You got to complete that level. Keep it going.
Oh wow.
Where are we actually?
You know what?
Okay, you can start from World 1-1. You can experience that one then.
All right, I think this. I hate to say it, but 1-1 might be my speed when it comes to this Mario title.
Yeah, it might be okay. It might be fine. It's okay. Big Brother Brand will take care of World 1-2 for you.
You know what? I'll hang my hat on my performance in Lost Levels. We'll leave this one to you.
I'll show Berto what you're made of. You can redeem yourself with that, I believe.
Yeah, I'll take my frustrations out on Berta for sure.
Indeed, grab those eggs and show her what it means to be the Toad Master.
I wish Berta would go to Mario spin-off games more often. I was happy that Berta came back to Texas, but I want Berta in Mario Kart again.
Yeah, she got a resurgence and then she just died again. I remember when she was playable in several of the Mario Party games.
Yeah.
Like she was in 7, 8, and I think that's it. I most remember her from 7 because she was an unlockable character in that game. But she was definitely in 8 too, because 8 didn't remove any characters. They just added some. But of course, we live in a new era of Mario Party now, where things are quite different than what they used to be.
I was never a huge Mario Party fan, period, but the ones I actually played the most growing up were the ND Cube titles. And going back and playing the Hudson games, those are clearly better. But
yeah.
I have a soft spot for, especially Mario Party 10. I think Bowser Party is a really clever idea.
10, you said?
Yeah. Bowser Party
here's my feelings on Mario Party 10 specifically. I'm trying to gather them and you gotta be careful, because I will say the vine climbing is not the best in the NES original either. But anyway. My cousin Jeremiah says, I feel like I was the only one who liked Mario Party 9. So, I didn't dislike Mario Party 9. It wasn't really my speed compared to Mario Party 8, because, they had the whole car gameplay where everyone was in a car and it was a linear path. But I at least appreciated it for being unique. And Mario Party 9 definitely had better mini-games than ever before. That's the one thing that Mario Party has never slouched on, mini-games. They've always gotten better over the years, and I think that's definitely true of 9 as well. So my main issue with 10 initially was that, 9 again I appreciated because it was unique. But 10 just did the cars again. Oh, that's my turn. Right. Let me. But then it at least had the Bowser. I'm gonna use Peach this time. It at least had the unique. I'm not trying to say here. It had the unique Bowser Party mode, like you were saying. But my problem with the Bowser Party mode is, as fun as it was, I don't think it was fleshed out enough.
No.
And that's partially because, one, you can only play 3 out of the 6 maps, which means, again, the main point was just the same gameplay that we had gotten before. And the other problem with it is there wasn't enough Bowser mini-games where Bowser was going against them. You got through the rotation pretty fast. So even before it had a chance to really get interesting, it already got stale because you're doing the same ones. And that's my biggest problem with it, is because not because it was bad, it's just it had potential that really, in my opinion, just really didn't get fleshed out enough.
Yeah, I feel like even with Super Mario Party, NB Cube just spreads itself a little bit too thin a lot of the times, and doesn't take time to flesh out its ideas. Like the river cruise, like the cooperative river mode in Super Mario Party is great, but they have like 12 mini games for it. You know, I really hope that a Super Mario Party 2 focuses a little bit more on having less disparate ideas and more content per mode.
For sure. Oh, crap. Can I not get... Oh, no! That's exactly what I was afraid of. I was trying to... What a shame. Oh, my God. That's the worst. That is just enough that I can't... Alright, we're going to have to backtrack a little bit then. Maybe I can... What? What? I was like on the corner there for a second. I don't know what that was about. I don't think Peach is the best one for this, actually. I'm going to go ahead and do Mario here. Peach is good for like those weird levels where, you know, it's good to float. But this one, not so much. I don't know why I went back for that. Wow, God! Okay. I think we can do this now. Not quite where I wanted that bomb to be, but it'll do. Yeah, definitely not. Are you serious? Come on! No!
It's...
Alright, I have another. I'm going to go till this time. He picks things up fast because he has the highest power level. I forgot how bad his jump was, though.
Returning to this game now definitely reminds me of why it just didn't really click with me. I love just how smooth 2D platforming is with Mario and most of the core games, and this is just more of, if anything, it's more of almost a puzzle platformer in some respects, which is...
Yes, for sure. Definitely it has more of that feel to it. Oh my God. I'm gonna do like a... There we go, that's what I was trying to do before. Okay, now this should work. I should be able to get to that mushroom that was there. Yes, sir. Let's do this. No leaves, unfortunately. There's like something in my eye. God. Okay. Shake it off. We can do this. Ninja. You gotta do like super jump just to even make this as Toad. Oh, wow. What? Told you you're too powerful for your own good. This throwing range is like absurd. Okay, let's go in here.
I really like the implementation of the Super Mario Bros. 2 mushroom into Super Mario Maker 2.
Oh yeah, I like that a lot actually. I like the elements of Mario Bros. 2 that did make it into Mario Maker. I think are actually pretty well done. Got her. Moving right along. Alright, back to ya. Oh. You there? Uh-oh, did he get cut off? Oh no.
Let's see, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, can you see me?
I cannot see you.
Let's try this.
I think you're coming back online.
Can you see me now?
Yes, now it's like, and I can see you. Yep, you are back in focus.
I have not touched my computer one time in the past hour and a half, and Discord just closed and opened itself again.
I don't know why it does that sometimes, but it has happened to me before. But anyways,
I apologize for that.
No, you're all good. It is on you now.
Okay.
You're at world 1-3.
All right. Well, now I want my redemption after.
Yes, the redemption arcs are important.
Yes, after
in anime and in life.
Okay. Nope. See, I gotta be a little bit more judicious with how I move here. I'm not playing Mario 1 or even Mario 3 or anything. This is a...
Yeah, this one, like you were saying before, this is definitely a more deliberate Mario game, where the same tactics that helped in the first one definitely don't translate as well in this one. Some of them do for sure, but it's like I said, more of a platformer than it is. It's more of a puzzle platform than it is like a instinct platformer.
Yeah, and it's the other style which I'm better at. It gives me a good opportunity to practice something a little bit new. What are we gonna? Okay, we're gonna find nothing down there. Very interesting. Go through the door.
Ah, yes, dungeons.
Hello? There we go. Yeah, using a joystick here is definitely not the best. But I have no D-pad, unfortunately.
Oh no, you threw him on yourself.
I keep thinking that I can just throw them and they'll knock them out, but it is interesting actually that there's a degree of a physics engine here in the way that you can toss things around, and I always forget that.
That's very true.
Okay.
Oh no! Oh
Hello,
no!
Toad? This one's not my game.
Toad didn't quite make it. Toad
didn't come close to making it. Alright.
What time is it? We got a little more time.
Alright. Here, how about, let's see. I think you should take it over and give them one more showcase of how you can actually play this game instead of bumbling your way through 5 lives.
Yeah, let's do that. I'll do a quick one.
And then we'll move on to my jam, Super Mario Bros. 3.
Okay, the blue ones circle around. Oh, I wonder if I can make that same jump that I did before. Probably not. Because Toad does not jump as well. Okay, that was a bad one. Take this! I'll take the long route this time just for variety's sake.
Yeah.
And also because I'm using Toad, because I probably wouldn't be able to make that jump anyway. Crazy how much of the level gets skipped though.
Yeah. That's a really great shortcut. But the reason I picked Toad initially is because my girlfriend, she loves Toad. She played through Captain Toad Treasure Tracker recently, extensively.
That's on my list to play actually, because I owned that game on Wii U, but I didn't finish it.
Yeah.
But with Super Mario 3D World and those Captain Toad levels, I'm motivated to do it again. So it's on the list of a future game I'm gonna be streaming when my schedule opens up a little bit more. Because I think that'd be a fun way to do the game for the first time.
Yeah, for sure. It's a really inventive puzzle platformer. I hope we see a sequel sometime soon that fleshes out these concepts. Because the first game was great, and I was excited for the Wii U port with the Odyssey levels, and the Odyssey levels ended up being literally 15 minutes of content. So,
right.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. It's a port. I'm surprised. If I'm being honest, I'm surprised that it had like anything.
Yes. I would like to note also that your Switch icon, the Star Fox reference, and my favorite game of all time is Star Fox 64.
Yes, sir. That is a great game. That is a fantastic game. I grew up with Star Fox 64. It was one of the few games. It was one of the few games I had in the 64. Relatively close to when I got the system, and I do enjoy 64. I also really enjoy 64 3D. I don't think there's a Star Fox game that I've really disliked. If I'm being perfectly honest, I didn't even hate Zero. A lot of people don't like Zero, but I was fine with it. It's the biggest flaw of Zero is that, when Nintendo makes a game, they strive to make their controls as intuitive as possible for as many people to enjoy. Yeah. And I feel like if there's that much division over whether or not the controls are good, then I don't feel they accomplished that goal for that game. If I am among 30% that enjoyed the controls of that game, then unfortunately I don't think they accomplished their mission. I can't ethically say that game is really good when I'm one of the few people that defend its controls. It's just like you have to... sometimes you have to accept the fact that you're the minority in this case. But I still really enjoy Zero, and it had a really cool set piece. It had a lot of cool battles, but it is what it is, and that's unfortunately going to be a very difficult game to port forward because of the nature of how much it used the gamepad in its gameplay as well.
I enjoyed Zero. I thought the controls went from being bizarre to making fair intuitive sense once you had actually played the game for a while, but it did not have that pick up and play appeal that a lot of Nintendo titles have, which is disappointing. But my issue with that game were a little bit deeper. I think Star Fox just has such an identity crisis. A lot of those levels were so evocative of 64. I think the series needs to move forward a little bit.
It does. It certainly does, and certainly other Star Fox games have attempted to experiment with it, but the problem is the sad truth is I don't think Star Fox fans really know exactly what they want out of the series, because they do try to reinvent the wheel quite often actually, but then they just don't land. They don't land as well as the games that attempt to emulate 64 experience. Like I enjoy Star Fox Adventures. It's definitely a very different Star Fox game. It's more a Zelda-like game, and a lot of people didn't jive with that. I loved it because I love Zelda, so I went into that game and I just had a good time with it. It's
interesting, of course, that you bring up Star Fox Adventures as we're playing Super Mario Bros. 2 USA, because that was also
like a Black Sheep game. Yep.
Yeah, initially a different game from Rare, and actually the some recompiled version of that N64 original leaked online pretty recently, which is interesting to see.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I totally agree with you in terms of Star Fox. You've got 2 tracks. One track is really experimental games, like even Assault to an extent, but Command, and then you've got games that just play it so safe to what 64 accomplished. I personally think that the future of Star Fox is downloadable on the eShop. I would love a more traditional Star Fox campaign that maybe integrated some roguelite elements. I think that could be really compelling. And then double down on the multiplayer. Star Fox is such a great local multiplayer. I think if you put that online and flush it out a little bit,
yeah, really honestly, multiplayer is really people love playing multiplayer Star Fox, and we haven't had a multiplayer one in quite a while actually, because 64 3D had a multiplayer mode, but it wasn't as robust as 64 originals. And Zero didn't. I mean, it had that local 2-player mode, but it didn't really have an online play where you could compete against each other, and that's something I feel it needed. Assault, I put so much time into Assault's multiplayer, so like I long for a multiplayer game like that as well. And I adored Command. I got whooped online. I didn't play Command much online because those people were savages. But I love how you could the game, like Command had like multiple endings, and I really enjoyed that aspect of it actually.
I still need to play Command. I missed out on that one, so I'd love to check it out at some point. I
don't understand how the slot machine works. Like, I don't understand how I'm getting lives. Like, I don't know anyway. My cousin Jeremiah says, probably one of the most overrated games I played was Majora's Mask. I don't hate the game, but I don't see the hype. Okay, so Majora's Mask is my all-time favorite Legend of Zelda game. Sure. Without doubt. But I will fully admit that game does get overhyped. And and sometimes I feel like I'm the problem with that too, because again, it is my favorite. So I talk it up any chance I get. Hang on, let me see if I can do something here. I can't believe I made it up here. Well, okay, never mind. It doesn't have that much of effect actually. But I really do love it, and it's hard. I can actually make that mushroom. Hang on. Oh no! I'm gonna run out of time.
Oh, you got it.
Oh! Didn't make it. So what I love about Majora's Mask, first off, is my first one. So I have that personal bias. Yeah. I'll fully admit, and you never forget your first one. But even going beyond my bias of why I enjoy it, I really like that more than any other Star Fox game until Breath of the Wild, I would say, it made the world feel real and lived in because it was locked to that 3-day schedule. The NPCs had certain schedules that they would adhere to, and it was interesting seeing how they would live their lives. And it was even more interesting seeing... I think the mushroom was there and I just messed up. Oh, actually... Ooh! I found one of the warps, I think!
Oh, nice.
Warp to World 4! Yo! I forgot about this!
Look at that.
Oh, man. Welcome to Ice Worlds. Oh! I hate those things! I remember those things when I played through. Those things suck!
See, I have never gotten this far in this game.
I think they're called Huff and Puffins. I think that
Oh, okay.
And I think the only other game that they appear in besides this one was maybe Super Mario Advance, which I know is an ass pull, but yeah, these things did not come back very often.
Yeah.
But anyway, going back to Majora's Mask, I love how they had their own schedule. What the? Oh, right. The rocket that takes you to the next part. I was like, where am I going? Am I already encountering Birdo? Wait, was that the whole level? Oh, I remember this part. No, I remember this part, actually. No, yeah. This was way harder than the NES original, this level. Like what little I had to do just now was, I think, much harder in that version. Yo, I'm tired of these. I'm tired of them. Go. Where is Birdo? I hear Birdo, but I can't see. I can't see Birdo. No! I promise I'm gonna wrap up soon. I just want to see, like, if I can see. Like, I forgot about that warp.
I will say to Majora's Mask, it's one of the Zelda games I haven't finished. I've played both the original through Virtual Console and the 3DS remake, which I put more time into before realizing that a lot of the community is not as crazy about that version and the changes it made. I personally probably enjoyed the 3DS version more, but my problem with Majora's Mask is just I don't like feeling pressured. I love taking my Zelda games slowly, and that's just not what Majora's Mask is. Which
No,
is fine,
really
and
not.
it gives it,
well,
yeah, it gives it such a unique identity, but
it is and it isn't. So I will fully admit that one of the reasons why I got so attached to the game when I was younger, besides being my first Zelda game, is because I did have a friend that, like, a friend back. I used to live in New York, and I had a good friend back there, who just knew so much about the game, had strategy guides. He very much took me under his wing as far as, like, getting through Majora's Mask and kind of giving me the intricacies of, like, the character schedules and whatnot, and where you can get the mask and stuff like that. And with Majora's Mask, initially you do feel that pressure that you have to you have to finish, but eventually, in a weird way, it becomes more freeing once you kind of get the flow of it. Because, and if it didn't, I'd probably be the same thing, because I also don't enjoy the pressure. I keep getting hit by the same thing, but I also don't enjoy the pressure of it. But, like, it becomes less pressure when you, like, play it more casually, I think. Like, for example, when you get to, like, a high level of Majora's Mask play, you can juggle, like, multiple side quests per different day cycle, which is where I'm at now. But back in the day, what I used to do was, like, I would be like, okay, on this 3-day cycle, I'm going to do this side quest and only this side quest. And then when you focus on that, it becomes a lot less stressful when you, like, set specific goals for yourself to, like, go through the specific 3 days. If you're trying to do too much within the 3 days, then you definitely feel that pressure. And then you start getting stressed, and then you stop enjoying the game. But once you start making a specific goal, like, again, like if the game feels like you need to speedrun it, but you really don't. And I think that's the common misconception of that game, that you, like, have to play it as fast as possible because something's going to happen. And of course something will happen, but you can always prevent that.
It's such an interesting structure for the game, and it opens up so many great side quests. Like, I'll always remember the one, I believe it's at Lon Lon Ranch with the alien invasion.
Yep.
There are just so many great moments in that game, but I've never been able to overcome that hurdle of the cycle ending and having to start over and playing the song and going back. I've always admired it from a distance, I'd say, and I'd love to give it another shot.
Correct. That would have been a big pop-up moment. Oh boy, oh boy.
My favorite Mario roulette is, it's a bizarre one, but I love the dice in Starship Mario and Galaxy 2.
Oh yeah, the dice one. Yeah, no, that one's fun. It's fun. It's fun to do. I'm gonna hit that reset because we're gonna move on to Super Mario Bros. 3 actually. So let me go switch the stream title.
Mario 3 is, if putting aside the cheat code that is Super Mario Maker 2, it's probably my favorite 2D Mario title. Although Super Mario Land 2, 6 Golden Coins comes very close.
I love 6 Golden Coins. That's definitely a stronger one on the list for me as well.
But Mario 3 is so iconic.
It really is. Okay, hang on. Actually, this is going to be going back to the traditional 2-player. So we were going to do that little switch right there.
Sounds good.
Okay. Oh yeah, the game that presented the fact that, it's all just a stage play, you see. Oh yeah, we got to try that battle game too. We'll do the regular 2-player game first for a little bit, and then we'll see what that's all about. Man, it looks so good.
Yeah. I love this graphical style, and this brings me right back to the advanced games because this is the advanced cartridge.
Yep.
I think my dad got it for me as a present. I always remember him taking me to GameStop, and he got this for me one time, and I played so much of it. I never got very far. I never beat Mario 3 until I was much older, but
I never finished Super Mario Advance 4, that version of it, but I had never, and as a result, I had never finished any other version of Super Mario Bros. 3. But recently, I did a full playthrough with another one of our writers of the website, Gabe. We did a full playthrough of this game because we did an episode of Doesn't Hold Up, and we loved it so much that we decided to do a full playthrough of it. Yo, those later levels get really rough. They get real tough. Oh, we were getting kicked left and right.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun.
By the time you get into like those endless airship stages, it gets rough.
Endless airship is exactly what I would describe it as, because the final level with Bowser has a lot of airship levels and also has a lot of tanks and battleships too. Like Bowser just had a full military in that game, and those levels, while not platforming, difficult from a platforming perspective, is difficult from a perspective of trying to not get hit by enemies, for sure.
Yeah.
I can't believe I actually got that one.
So I've never seen The Wizard, but as your audience may or may not know, this game debuted in a film called The Wizard, which is so peculiar. I can't even think of a modern day analog for that. But
no, not really. So you said you've never seen that movie? I think you should see it at least once. I don't think it's outstanding movie by any means. Like the plot is actually quite bare, actually. But if you're a Nintendo fan, it's a window into the 80s. It's just so fascinating from that perspective. You get literally every single game that was like big during that time, and it's really cool to see. The game, the movie itself, it really is just a Nintendo Entertainment System advertisement. Like, there's a scene where there's these two adults that are like looking for this kid, and they just stop looking to sit in a tent and play NES for like 3 minutes.
That's awesome.
Like, the plot is not moving at all. They're just sitting playing NES. And I was like, this is trash, but I'm happy. Oh no, an auto scroll. Oh boy. Yeah, but no, you definitely got to see it if you can never find it.
What I used to watch a lot of, in a similar vein, was the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. When I was younger, I watched a ton of it, and the way I watched it actually was on my parents' Netflix. Back when Netflix was discs, I would just fill my parents' queue with discs of Super Mario Brothers Super Show. So every once in a while, there's a show up at the house, and I would just love to watch it. I doubt it would hold up today, but I loved it when I was younger.
Oh, the cartoon? I mean, it's a nice casual watch for sure. Like, I don't know, it was, very little was known about Mario and his characterization at the time, so they just kind of did whatever. You had to fill it in because NES games didn't have plots, really. Yeah. So, you just basically inferred what you could. It's some of the characterizations of Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Toad. It's absurd to look at now these days, for sure. But back then, Peach in particular had so little characterization, and it was what it was.
Speaking of plots from third and fourth generation games, it relied so heavily on the manual, and it's so fun looking at game manuals from this era and having just pages upon pages full of plot information, not even how to play the game, but this is the background, this is the world you're stepping into. And that's so cool. I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, I missed the manual because it was just fun to have in the box, but once we got a little bit deeper into the industry, manuals already stopped meaning what they used to. So I miss manuals, but I miss manuals from the 80s, that was just full of story information. They were so cool.
80s, the 80s manuals was your plot. Like that's how you got the story of the game, certainly, because you know they just couldn't do it because so they had the manuals was essentially your way to do it. Oh, I love how in the indicator in the background it tells you like if you get that one you'll get a 5 up, you get that one you get a 3 up. That's neat.
Yeah.
But I've always been pretty bad at this, so I'm gonna use my technique that sometimes worked when I did my Mario Bros. 3 playthrough and just mash. And it didn't work.
I used to do it so methodically. At least in the original, if you line up the picture before the picture you want with the top section, you hit the button then, it'll usually line up. I used to love learning little tricks like that in Nintendo games. I loved learning Mario Kart Wii shortcuts and things like that.
Yeah, those were fun to get to.
Fun. My friends and I would figure them out and share them at school.
My favorite the shortcut that I always found that I could never was when people were doing Funky Kong time trials on what was the name of that level? Grumble Volcano. Where you could just that doesn't work on them? Are you serious?
I thought it did.
That's my Super Mario World's instinct, because in Super Mario World I would always use the cape to like knock out the dry bones, because that permanently killed him. Okay, hold on, I'm not confident. I didn't realize there was that I had to just go for it. Okay, fair enough.
Oh, you got it.
You really just got to go for it, man. That's such a long stretch. That's scary. That's a little bit intimidating, but we'll be fine. We're here now. I think we're near Boom Boom's lair, actually.
Back before he was overused.
Yeah. This is back when he was underused.
Then we got Pom Pom, and then Pom Pom became overused.
Oh, Pom Pom I like, though.
I like Pom Pom, but...
Wasn't she a character in one of these games? I think it was Super Mario Party. I think she was a character. Pom Pom was a character in Super Mario Party.
Alright, I need an item.
Let's go get yourself something. Get yourself something nice.
Don't be a frog suit. There we go.
There you go. Tanuki leaf is alright.
Is it? Yeah, is it Buddha branch?
Yeah, there it is.
That's why. I'm used. It's interesting seeing how some of the controls are redone for a 4-button input on SNES, opposed to 2 buttons on NES. It just shows how much care was put into. I thought, okay.
What?
We're learning all kinds of things about the Tanuki leaf. That
we certainly are. Was it as good as we remember it being?
I'm just spoiled. I'm spoiled by modern 2D Mario mechanics, I suppose.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. But I think you're about done with the level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These levels are super short.
Yeah. Ooh.
It didn't line up 3 at a time, but...
But you still got something. That's something.
Still got something. We'll need them if we get to the Angry Sun. I am so bad against the Angry Sun. I always have been.
Okay, let's see what we got going on here. Okay, having this makes me feel a little bit safer.
When I'm back home and I have all of my consoles again, I'm gonna pick up the Wii U Virtual Console release of Advance 3 so I can play those e-reader levels, because I've never gotten to play those before.
I own the Wii U version as well, and I never owned an e-reader at all. So yeah. I never had access to those levels myself. So I would love to be able to experience those, see how much they add. I know some of them like add like crazy mechanics to the game.
Yeah.
Like Super Mario Brothers 2 like esque levels even, which is nuts to me.
Yeah, I learned we mentioned him before we started live, but John Cartwright did a great video about them for Nintendo.
That's what I'm talking about. Like yeah. I had known of those E-Raider levels, but I didn't know what they contained until I watched this video, and I was like, whoa. Yeah. Oh wow, whole star.
I tweeted about this the other day. I had a just bizarre dream the other night where I went into a GameStop and John Cartwright was working there. And
saw
he
that
sold me
tweet,
a
yeah.
copy. Yeah, Star Fox Adventures.
And I agree with his response. You should play Star Fox Adventures.
I've played very little of that game. I always remember I got a copy of it from a thrift store.
Mhm.
And I played it a little bit, but it was at a time when I had a corrupted memory card, so I couldn't save. And when you're a little kid and you finally get a little bit of pocket money, the last thing you want to buy is a memory card, because that's so boring.
Right.
So I remember I just kept buying more games and not being able to save. I don't know why I did that to myself.
But you explained it perfectly. Like, as a kid, that's just not the most exciting thing for you.
No, I wanted an actual game. But...
Okay. This is going pretty well so far. You can't destroy the cannonballs, but I can... Oh, wow. That did not do what I thought it was going to.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that some cartridge copies of this game later on in the SNES's life also had Mario World.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
What I don't know is if it was all in one cartridge or if it just kind of came bundled with it. And also
because
Larry's
either way, they're really pushovers in this game.
Yeah, the first few are. I love how there's even like a cobweb in the background too.
Yeah.
Like there's so much background added to these games. Like I really love these versions of the NES originals.
Yeah, they're really gorgeous titles.
Super Nintendo really was like a magical little era, wasn't it? And the Game Boy Advance, and that's one of the reasons why I like it a lot, is because it was essentially just a Super Nintendo games on handheld. It was a Super Nintendo 2, as one person I've heard described it as.
Yeah, what's interesting about that system is so much of its library is ports and enhanced versions of older titles.
Yes.
Which was so novel at the time. A little bit less special now, but it makes it an interesting library to go back to because so many of its games are available. But then you get
we still have a little time. Yeah, we can do a few more level 2.
Okay. We gotta make sure we save time for battle mode also. I'm very curious.
That's true. Actually, let's stop then because I do want to check out battle mode actually.
Did you ever play the head mode in what was it? New Super Mario Brothers on DS?
Once or twice, because I had a friend that had the game as well, so we definitely tried it a few times. It was actually really good. It was really
so
good.
Fun.
I remember really having a lot of fun with that mode actually. Let's go ahead and actually, you know what? Let's keep it because maybe it'll be the same.
Sounds good. My friends and I would play so much of that.
Oh, it's Mario Brothers.
Okay. Sounds good. It's got. This feels like Mario Brothers physics too. Oh boy, this is Mario.
Oh, you're going wrong. Yeah. Come
on. Oh boy, I've always. I shouldn't have given that to you. No good. I've always been so bad at the physics in Mario Brothers.
Boost! That wasn't in the... Oh, and you... Oh, no! I was winning! Oh, wow, look at that.
I don't know if it's this exact same version, but people remember that the advanced games came with a Mario Brothers multiplayer mode.
It did, and that one actually had up to 4 people as well.
Oh, cool! I didn't know that. I don't think I ever played those games with others. Those are always solo events for me.
So it was funny too because oh man, I couldn't get out of that. It was funny too because literally every single Super Mario Advance game had that Mario Brothers mode, and not only that, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga had that Mario Brothers battle mode in it too.
Oh, I didn't know
that. Ooh. The original, of course, not the 3DS remake, but yeah, it had it too. And something I had written about not too long ago as well was that darn it. Oh yeah, that that if you use the Game Boy Player for Mario and Luigi Super Saga, it even had a widescreen support mode. So if you wanted to play it on console.
There was so much cool interactivity between the GameCube and GBA.
Yes, honestly.
Especially when you dig into things like Nintendo Puzzle Collection and Animal
Puzzle
Crossing.
Collection. I'm so bummed that never made its way over.
Yeah, I wrote a piece for CBI recently about a handful of Nintendo titles that never made it westward that deserve to be localized still, and that was one of them. That's such a unique collection.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, coin. Oh boy. Boo.
Boo.
Oh boy.
I'll take that though. I like this because it's like Mario Brothers 2. Like it's the same concept as the Mario Brothers game, but there's stuff added to it.
Yeah.
Like the mushrooms, the shells. Like, this is awesome. I really like this. This is genuinely a new experience because this was, to some degree it was available in Mario Brothers, but so that means this game low-key has 5 games in it.
Yeah.
Because, Mario Brothers is its own game. So I might have to reverse whether the original Mario Brothers hold up, because this almost invalidates it. It's just a way more fun way to play Mario Brothers.
Yeah. I always have salty memories of Mario Brothers though, because I remember being a kid and buying. I wanted Super Mario Brothers off of the Virtual Console, but I got Mario Brothers for myself. I didn't realize what a big difference the Super in the title was going to make, and I was very disappointed that day.
Yeah, I can see that.
Oh, I want that coin.
You got it.
It's still a fun game, Mario Brothers, but I've never jived with the way that it feels to play mechanically.
Yeah, I feel that, but this handles, like, I don't know what's the last time you played the original Mario Brothers, but this handles like significantly better. By the way, that Boo mechanically works the same way as the fireballs did in Mario Brothers original. I just realized.
That Koopa was on a mission. Oh boy.
He was. That's the other thing too. They switched off some of the enemies. So like the what was it? Technically, Koopa Troopas didn't appear in the original Mario Brothers. The green turtle enemies are actually called Shell Creepers, which are similar to, but not the same as Koopa Troopas. But for this version, obviously, they went to the more recognizable Koopa Troopas. Yeah. But they also had to change, because and I think one of the reasons why they had to change it as well was because it would probably confuse people now, because you couldn't step on the Shell Creepers, even though they look just like Koopa Troopas. If you stepped on them, you would take damage. So I think, actually, now that I said that, I'm slightly wrong. I think the Spinies are meant to emulate the Shell Creepers, since, obviously you can't step on them because they have spikes on them, which is pretty much how it was for the Shell Creepers, where the Koopa Troopas are literally Koopa Troopas. With the shell, you can hit your friend like I just did to you.
This game is ruthless. This is actually really fun.
Yeah, honestly.
Okay, this is
the final round. Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. This is for all the marbles. Oh boy.
Oh no.
I have the tables have turned. Bend the knee.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh, I'm in trouble here. You're not mushroom. Come on. Oh.
Ooh. Back to 0. Reset the bracket. What?
No.
No.
Oh, give me that coin. Okay.
No! Ah! Oh man.
Oh, look at that.
That was so close. Oh man, good game.
That was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun. Oh boy, that's a good way to end this off.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's head to the game selection. Let's talk about. Oh, hang on, I pressed the wrong button again. All right, here we go. So let me just switch the format real quick, and let's talk about Super Mario All Stars. So, a lot of this is going to be kind of winging it because I've never really covered a compilation on this show before. So I guess the simplest way to do it is to talk about each game by itself, and then we can just talk about the compilation as a whole. So let's start with Super Mario Brothers, the Super Nintendo remake of Super Mario Brothers. So, as we covered during our gameplay, the physics was definitely quite different compared to the original, which is both a good thing and a bad thing. It's a bad thing if you're like more familiar with the original, and then going into that, you have to like, I guess, kind of relearn your muscle memory, because now you have to learn the physics of this game. But if you're someone who has never really played the original one too heavily, didn't get that muscle memory, or if this is your first time playing the original altogether, then it's something you'll get used to immediately, because again, it's just is different. But aside from the technical difficult differences, the game itself, this is just a significantly better looking version of the game. Like, again, the 8-bit original has its own charm for sure. It's more recognizable, but this game is just like, what can you say? This is a 16-bit version. They have backgrounds. The music is improved. Enemies are colored. Everything looks just really pretty. It's just like, again, if Super Mario Brothers Deluxe for the Game Boy Color didn't exist, I would call this the definitive version, just because of how beautiful it looks. I think what I would really like, and this is a little side mini tangent, I would love it if they would just release a Super Mario Brothers Deluxe that had the versions of ability to look like this. I would really dig that a lot, honestly. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
But that being said, it's Super Mario Brothers original. Much like I said in season 1 of the show, it's a classic game that's still very much fun to play. And besides the graphic improvement, I feel like there's a lot of little quality life improvements. Like, you won't get out. There's checkpoints, which we notice. Sure. You won't get ousted right away all the way at the beginning of the game for losing. You just go back to the beginning of the world. And if you use suspend points, you may not even have to deal with that. If it's a don't want to worry about that time sink, or maybe you do. But what's your thoughts? Super Mario Bros. Original.
So now that we've played a little sample of all of them, and we're stepping back, I think my biggest takeaway applies across all of the games. But this really is, I think, a cleaned up and close to definitive way to play some platformers that are still timeless today. I think that turning, especially to Mario 1 and Mario 3, but talking specifically about Mario 1, there's just such elegant level design, and that's what stands out to me still. Like you mentioned, you gotta get attuned to the physics again, because it's a different feel for these games. But that different feel, I think when you get into it, you can appreciate just how precise the design is, and then you can appreciate how great this overhaul is. I was really impressed and excited going back to this, and I think a little bit later, maybe this weekend, I'm gonna go back in and clean up Mario 1 and finish it, just because it's so playable today. I think that's the biggest thing about All-Stars. They're just so playable still.
Honestly, yes. I 100% agree. Yeah, that's our thoughts on the original Super Mario Brothers. Timeless classic that just looks even better than it ever has. So moving on to the Lost Levels. Now, a lot of what we just said about Super Mario Brothers applies to Lost Levels as well, because, again, better performance, slightly different physics. So we're talking more about the game itself, and it's just a much more difficult version of Super Mario Brothers, where the level design is just much harder. Enemies are designed, but again, it's the same core level design itself. Same core gameplay is what I meant to say. Okay. And they eschew the 2-player mode to instead have two different difficulties, not difficulties, but two different options where you can play as Mario or Luigi, and they each control a little bit differently. But of course, on Switch, that's not even a big deal anyway, because you can, like we did, swap between either between lives or even between levels, however is more convenient for you as a player. And that's the good thing about just the Switch service in general, with both the NES and the Super Nintendo games in general, is that even single player games can be turned into 2-player games if you just know when to switch it effectively. I remember when the Super Nintendo app first came out, myself and Christy, another one of the writers of our website, we did a stream where we were just playing Super Nintendo games, and we were playing Link to the Past as a 2-player game, where we would just go, if I died, she would take control, or if she died, I would take control and just kind of swap between as we were going. Or if one of us was playing for too long, we would just give the other a chance to play. And that's the one way you can do that. And it's the same thing with this game, with Lost Levels. You can swap between to make the progress on the game. And again, it's Lost Levels, so you will die a lot. So maybe, depending on how willing you are to keep switching control, that could be your way to do it. And Mario and Luigi gives you different options in that regard. I guess based on The only downside, and this is not necessarily a fault of the game itself, is just how it was designed, is that Mario and Luigi are not swappable mid levels. Once you commit to that, it's almost like a campaign in a way. Like once you choose the Mario game, you're in the Mario game. That's not much of an issue because there's like 4 different save files where you can just like fully experience that either way. But if you're looking to like switch between to what makes it easier for you, the game does not do that. And that, I think that's less of a flaw, maybe just the way the game was designed too.
Sure.
So yeah, what do you think?
Well, I think, again, my thoughts on this one are a little bit more surface level, as it's the one in the collection I'm least familiar with prior to playing with you today. But this is certainly the game that benefits the most from the package that is All Stars itself. I think having those affordances like checkpoints, having the clean up visuals, I think that really benefits a game that's built on arguably a weaker foundation in comparison to a lot of other 2D Mario titles. So I think this is the best context to try to experience lost levels through. And I think if I ever feel compelled to push all the way through that game, this is how I would do it. But at the same time, already I was playing and doing just some strange things, those springs that sent me to
the moon.
The moon, who knows, there's things here that just don't feel as refined as the original Mario, but like we've just been kind of, the drum we've been beating about All-Stars just being this incredible package and way to experience these classic titles, I think that holds true.
I agree. Yeah, it's I guess you're right a little bit on that. That like the mechanics are just like a tad different, on accounts of like the fact that there's a few new things that were in this game that weren't in the original, like those super springs, I guess I'm gonna call them, poison mushrooms, and other little things just to help make the game a little bit more difficult. Like, yeah, and like you said, it's not quite as refined. But oh, you know what I just noticed? This is off topic, but is that outfit that Mario's wearing on the cover, where he's wearing the top hat, was that in Odyssey?
Oh, I don't remember.
I feel like I've seen it somewhere else. And Odyssey had so many different costumes from all across Mario's history, so
yeah,
I have to look into that. I feel like I've seen it before. Anyway, getting back to the subject of Lost Levels. Yeah, there's not too much more to say about it. I'm echoing a lot of what I did say in Season 1, but it is really a much more difficult version of Mario. But like the original Mario Brothers, it's just further refined by the fact that, it's on the Super Nintendo version. Sure. And, I will say this as well. Like the original Super Mario Brothers that's on this collection, you have checkpoints. And unlike the first one, you start on that same level. You don't even go back to the world. Like if you died on Lost Audio World 5-3, you can start back in 5-3. You don't start from the checkpoint if you happen to get there. But that's hardly a punishment considering that you're still on the same level that you are on. So like to even out the fact that the game itself is harder, they made it that you can, as long as you're persistent enough, that you can eventually get through it. I think that's really nice. I think we're getting into an age where lives are kind of becoming outdated in a way.
Absolutely.
Where I do feel like, a game can be difficult, can make you die a lot without necessarily like punishing you by sending you all the way back to stuff that you had already conquered in that sense. I think there's some levels where I think it's a benefit to like send you back, but I think there's others where I think it's like it becomes tedious after a while. It's just it's the delicate balance of respecting a player's time, and I think for this game to be hard but still have the foresight to put you on that same level so you can keep going and just like push through the difficulty if you really want to. I think that's game design that's like way ahead of its time, and I actually appreciate it for that.
Yeah. I totally agree. And side note, I just booted up Odyssey. That costume is in the game. It's the black tuxedo and black top hat costume.
Nice. I knew I saw it somewhere else. That's cool. Yeah. That's cool. That's a cool little Easter egg. Yeah. So that's Super Mario Brothers: The Lost Levels. So let's talk about Super Mario Brothers 2. Definitely the black sheep of this collection because it's a different game with Mario characters thrown in. But I owe a lot. This game, it's an important game in the Mario series, despite it being so different, because it's the very first game where Peach and Toad were playable, and that shaped a lot of their identity going forward in later games too. Obviously, 3D World plus Bowser Fury just came out, and a lot of what they do in that game, it comes from Super Mario Brothers 2. Peach's ability to float. There's some levels where they can't throw the vegetables. It's not really that prevalent, but it's there. And the fact that Toad can't jump high, but he's very fast. That all comes from this game. This is the first time those two characters were playable, and it really did just kind of like shape them going forward. So it's a very important game. But if we're talking about the game itself, again, much better looking version than its NES predecessor. This is definitely a really good way to play it if you don't have access to the Super Mario Advance, which is just an even better version of that game. Actually, maybe that's debatable because Super Mario Advance is easier than the Super Mario Brothers 2. They added some stuff to make it easier. So if you're a purist that just wants it a little bit difficult, then maybe this might still be the version for you. But I still prefer Advance. But either way, you can't go wrong with this version because it's tight. Like in my opinion, anyway. As someone who did play through all of Super Mario Brothers 2, this version felt a lot tighter to me. Like I was able to like throw much better as far as where I was going. It almost makes me want to go through the game again, but not quite enough because I haven't enough games to play right now that I'm not going to just do the same one, even in a better version. But no, if you've never played Super Mario Brothers 2, I think this is a really fun way to do it. It's a lot of fun. It's true to the original, but updated. Where Super Mario Advance again easier, and they even changed one of the bosses. Like, are you familiar with that boss that they changed?
No.
So, in the original Super Mario Brothers 2. There was now the Mouser, the mouse that throws bombs, and that's one of the bosses. They put him in the game twice. Actually, they put him in 3 times because he's was a boss in 2 levels, and then he was like a mini boss before the actual final boss. So for Super Mario Advance, they took out the second Mouser fight and instead put a new boss called Roberto, which is just a gigantic robotic Birdo that's really creepy sounding and really creepy looking, honestly. I'm glad that Nightmare Fuel never came back in another game. But I guess they did it to just like give like a more like let's give a different boss is what they were thinking, I'm sure. It's just a lot tougher version of Birdo, and again, glad that's never coming back ever because that thing is really scary. Look up Roberto. It's not pleasant to look at. But anyway, that's my thoughts on this one. It's just a really good way to experience this game. It's very different, but I think it's still fun. Your thoughts?
So, on a subjective level, I feel like I hold the importance of Mario 2 USA in my enjoyment of it in equal regard, but they're different.
Sure.
I have never been a big fan of the gameplay style or the feel. I've put a little bit of time into various versions of it over my course of playing Nintendo titles, and it just never has really clicked with me. But like you're saying, as we've been echoing, this is perhaps the best version to try. And like you're saying, it has so much importance to Mario as a series on the whole, in terms of characters, in terms of gameplay ideas, visual motifs. There's a lot of interesting stuff here, and I mean, with how accessible it is now on Switch, it's certainly worth giving it a shot. So it's certainly one that people are going to have a divergent opinions on. And so if you're going to try a game that's more controversial, and same goes for Lost Levels, again, an accessible package like this is just the way to go.
Exactly. That's the great thing about this service, and you have the freedom to experiment with these games that you're not sure if you'd like or if you've never even heard of. And there's doing this series. There's certainly been a lot of games that if I knew how good they were, I would have happily paid extra money to play them by themselves. And there's games where I played, and I'm like, boy, I'm glad I didn't spend the money on this game. That it's just part of this package that I already paid for manually. So there's that. It's definitely a game worth trying, especially mainly because of how different it is. Like, different games will always sway to different people, because if you're used to a certain series and then you find something that's like so different, you're either going to really be refreshed by how different it is, or it's just going to completely bounce off you and you just want to go back to what's familiar. And either opinion about it is quite frankly valid. But with this package, you do have the freedom to check this out. And if you really want retro, you can play the NES version, but this is definitely the version I would recommend because, again, it looks a lot better, sounds a lot better, and controls better than the NES version. So the last game we're going to talk about is the last game in this collection, and this is going to be, I guess, kind of like a 2-part thing, Super Mario Brothers 3, because we stumbled into that battle mode, which we'll get its own separate thing in a second, but talking about just Super Mario Brothers 3 in itself. So a lot of people still to this day hold Super Mario Brothers 3 is their favorite 2D platformer. It's held in high regard. There's still debates today over whether people prefer Super Mario Brothers 3 to Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo. For me, my answer actually differs a little bit depending on which version we're talking about. If we're talking original Super Mario Brothers 3 versus Super Mario World, like the NES version, it's easily Super Mario World. The presentation of world, the platforming, the colors, and the Yoshi, all that good stuff puts the world above for me. But if we're talking about the Super Nintendo version of Brothers 3 or the Super Mario Advance 4 version of it, it's a different story. It's a lot harder for me to judge. I would kind of put Advance 4 slash Super Nintendo Mario Bros. 3 a little bit higher, just because now that they're on equal footing in terms of that visual design and that level and colors level and controls. I think I do prefer the Mario Brothers 3 level design just a little bit better, divorced from the graphics in that regard. So coming to this version after doing a full playthrough of the NES original was refreshing. Because I did enjoy my time through Mario Brothers 3, but it was, an NES game like that looked a lot better than its original Super Mario Brothers. There were still some technical issues as you went through the very end, but I saw a significantly less version of that when we were playing this Super Nintendo version and seeing all the different power-ups. We also breezed through it, so it I could say that it felt very natural to play. Like when's the last time you played Super Mario Bros. 3 for context? Any version?
So the last time I played was like early 2020, the NES version.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for me, it's definitely a bit more recent after finishing that playthrough. I finished that in January, so we're talking only 2 months ago. Sure. And coming to this one, it definitely just feels so much better. Like it's so much more polished. This and again Super Mario Advance 4 are the definitive ways to play Mario Brothers 3. In fact, I feel like the world versus Mario Bros. 3 compares and played this version, I think it would make those arguments much more interesting because then we're on near parity at that point. If you're a Yoshi fan, you're still gonna prefer World, but that's another thing entirely. But no, I really enjoyed coming back to this with its improvements. It's a very, very good looking Mario game, and it rubs me the right way. But what are you thinking?
So I also hold Mario 3 in very high regard. I prefer it to World personally. I like the way those mechanics feel a little bit more in the physics and everything. But this is just, if you want to talk about Mario 1 being timeless, get rid of it. Look at Mario 3. It's
for sure.
Mario 3 is just such a special platform, and of course everything we've already said about All Stars as a whole applies to this. But if you want to talk about does the game hold up, a few things hold up as well as Mario 3 does, and returning to this now is just such a clear reminder of that.
Oh, without a doubt, and it's a game that even the NES original, for its flaws, is definitely held up like very well. And we're talking about a version of that that's even better. Yeah, of course it does. It does. It's a very faithful remake that just manages to improve a lot of things in wonderful ways, and I'm very happy about it. And one way that it really improved upon things was adding a damn battle mode based on the original Mario Brothers. So that's going to be our segue into that battle mode. Oh my god. Okay, so let's be clear. Mario Brothers Original, it's fun. It's a fun multiplayer game in short bursts, right? Like you could especially if you're playing like the NES version that's on the Switch app. It's fun in short bursts, but you do kind of notice how the controls weren't quite up to snuff in the original Mario Brothers. Like there's definitely a bit of a sluggish feeling to it, and going to the jumping and whatnot. But I always gave that game props for being such an early game that have that synchronized head-to-head multiplayer together, which just didn't exist at that time that game came out, and I always respect it for doing that. And today's standards, of course, I don't know if it held up as well, but it still at least can be fun to play in short bursts. But if we're talking about this version that's here in Super Mario All-Stars, that's available in the Super Mario Bros. 3, this is significantly better. This one is definitely more competitive than the original. That one was, you competed in the original too, but you definitely also were trying to work together to get as far as you can in that arcade game. This is definitely, you're out to get your opponent. You're either going to want to collect the coins first, or you want to survive. Because if one person dies, then the other person automatically wins. You go on for 10 rounds. And the 10 rounds will take you about 10 minutes to complete. So it's a nice little quick session, but you'll have a lot of fun doing so. You dodge enemies, you try to knock them out, collect the coins, or try to take your opponent out. So you can do either. You can either be aggressive, try to go after your opponent, send the enemies their way, basically trying to lure them there, or hit them with a turtle shell, or you can just try to get the coins as fast as possible and and hope either your opponent makes a mistake and dies, or you get the coins first and then win anyway. So I like that there's a lot of different strategies you can use in this relatively simple game. It's definitive. It's the definitive way to play Mario Brothers because it's still, the control isn't perfect. Like we both agree, but it was still significantly miles and better than the original Mario Brothers. I would say it invalidates the original Mario Brothers in a way because you can still play this online, and you're going head to head, and there's just more there, more strategy. It's a lot better to look at too because this is a Super Nintendo versus an arcade '80s game. Yeah. So yeah, like it almost makes me want to go back and say, oh no, Mario Brothers isn't holding because this exists, almost. Yeah. But what do you think?
Yeah. So, I mean, I had so much fun in our entire evening playing together, but this was the highlight. This was such a fun little thing to find because I had never experienced this before, and like you're saying, it really was so much better than that original Mario Brothers experience. I still have issues with that core movement a little bit. I still have some problems with, a lot of enemies to knock out, but I thought there'd be more of a factor of your score opposed to just collecting coins. But on the whole, it really was, it was a fun way to experience that Mario Brothers gameplay. And like you're saying, just having a synchronous multiplayer experience like that was so rare for the time, and it's still so fun today. So I think that was a great end cap to what we played today.
Agreed. And it's also a great end cap because it was a surprise because I didn't realize that was a part of the Mario Brothers 3 as part of the All-Stars collection. That's what I was talking about, man. This series offers so many nice little surprises, stuff that you didn't know, and then you end up absolutely loving. And I'm glad that we got to end that on a nice surprise. So before we do our outros, let's talk about the package overall now that we've given our thoughts on the individual games within it. So I said this at the beginning of the stream before we started even playing this game that Nintendo releasing a lavish collection like this is rare these days, apart from like an anniversary, that is. So for them to just out of the blue take their 4 best-selling NES games and just put them in a nice collection and update them for the Super Nintendo graphics they're on. They could have just put them as NES game, or I don't know if that. Yeah. I'm not a huge tech person, so I don't know if they did that by necessity or whatnot. But even so, they update them so they can have the 16-bit graphics on the Super Nintendo to look better, sound better, and in some cases even control better. Or in the case of Mario Bros. 3, add a mode that just improves the game overall. It's just such a lavish collection, and it far and beyond holds up for having just so much value, and the fact that people can play this on their Switch without even have to, somehow for your Nintendo Switch online fee, essentially pay you get for free for the classic Mario games in one collection with a nice battle mode that you can even play with a friend. That's really fun, dude. Of course, it's awesome. Abram, tell me something.
So, everything you said is absolutely correct, and I feel like if you're talking about a series where the concept is, does the game hold up, and you're talking about Mario All Stars, the episode does itself. This game is just so good, and it makes me have to give a disapproving head shake towards 3D All Stars, because that's a great collection by its own merit. But when you look at what Nintendo did here, just night and day. I mean, this was such a thoughtful revision of already some of the industry's best games. And so it's just such an essential package. And it was harder to get your hands on, so the fact that it's on NSO is really great. And that's about my thoughts, because there's only so much you can say about Super Mario All-Stars. It really is a defining game. People tend to not include it in best of lists because it's kind of a cheat. It's a compilation. Sure. But if you're thinking, what are the best cartridges, the best video game cartridges, this is in the top 10 easily. Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Easily. Yeah, it's just an insane collection. It's just so lavish, so wonderfully done. I'm just so happy that there's a nice, easy, concise way for people to access the Mario games in this fashion. Yeah, it's I'm glad that we did this on Mario. I was looking for an excuse to do this game anyway for season 2. I mean, I was going to, but to do it on Mario Day in particular, I think it's a good way to celebrate by playing one of the best video game collections out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, All Stars. This was all a scam, people. We just really wanted to play All Stars together. Of course, this game was going to hold up. There was no mystery here. I can tell you, Abram, every 2 days after I do one of these streams, I upload the video on your YouTube and I upload the highlights. And sometimes I like to keep the people in suspense because, especially if it's a game they haven't heard of, it's like this game is but does it hold up today? This is one of the few games where I'm going to be like, you already know. Just listen to our thoughts and hair discussion about Mario.
Yeah.
Like who's gonna believe for a second that this collection of 4 classic Mario games didn't hold up? Like, no, these games suck. Shut it down. Absolutely. Anyway, that was our thoughts on Super Mario All Stars. It's honestly a wonderful collection.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that'll do it for this episode. So for everyone watching, thanks so much for coming out. Thank you for Abram for joining me as we go through this collection. This was a blast and a half.
Yes. Yeah, thank you so much for having me. This is really, really awesome.
It was an absolute pleasure. So before I let you plug your stuff up, I'm just going to talk about some future streams that are coming up on the channel as well. So if you want to see some more Mario, we do have some more coming up this Friday. So normally we do our Super Mario 3D World playthrough, myself and 3 of the other writers. However, one of our writers, Christy, she is going to be very, very busy on Friday. And our next stream is where we are going to be confronting Bowser and rolling credits. So we do not want to do that without her. So we're going to be going from one All-Stars to another. So originally this was going to be coming back next week. And this Friday, I'm going to be bringing back my Super Mario Galaxy playthrough a little bit earlier than I intended to. That is going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern for everyone that wants to watch that live. I did the first 2 areas. I did the terrace and the fountain. I believe the third area is the kitchen. So, yeah, next stream at 8 p.m. Super Mario Galaxy, I'll be going to the kitchen area, getting some more stars there. This Sunday at 7 p.m., it is going to be the second of Brandon's Fortune Street Night. I will be going to Mount Magmageddon. And I have not played the Dragon Quest game where that is from, but the name like Mount Magmageddon is super sick. And I can't wait to see how that goes. And then, of course, Monday is going to be our regularly scheduled episode of HPCritical Does It Hold Up. It's my guest that week is going to be Toby, Tobes23325 on Twitter. And me and him are going to be playing, Pilot Wings, and we're going to be playing Poppin' Twinbee and see if those hold up. Pilot Wings, I don't think I've played, I can't remember if I've actually touched Pilot Wings before. But I'm very looking forward to playing it regardless because I played a lot of Pilot Wings Resort on the 3DS. I really enjoyed that game, but I never played the original, I don't think. And Poppin' Twinbee I've never played, but I played the original Twinbee, so that should be a lot of fun. But anyway, I don't have a specific time for that episode, unfortunately, because Toby is in the UK, and his time zone is very different from mine. Yeah. So every time I have to arrange with him to find a good time that he's free so we can do stream. I'll be linking our social media in a second for you guys so you can stay up to date on when that's going to be happening. But it's going to be this coming Monday if you guys want to watch that. And, of course, last thing I'll promote is next Wednesday, more Super Mario Galaxy that day as well, which is its normally scheduled slot. So there you go. Anyways, if you want to check out those streams and, or rather, if you've got anything that I said, want to review the schedule and all of these other articles, definitely check our website, hpcritical.com. We have many articles written by writers like myself available on gaming and other topics like movies, shows, anime, books, and more. And our site does get updated daily, so definitely check every day for some new content from us, including the stream schedule in case you missed anything that I said or you want to see anything else that's coming later on in the month of March. If you'd like to support us, there's 3 different ways you can do so. The most direct way is our Patreon. You can support us at patreon.com/HPCritical. If you support us there, not only we get stuff like bracelets and stickers, but you'll be able to influence future streams and even have spots on our weekly podcast as well. Now, the social media, the 2 other ways that you can support us. Sorry, I always forget this part. If you have an Amazon Prime account or a Twitch Prime account, you can hit us up with a free subscription, which we definitely appreciate. And the 3rd way you can support us is we have recently opened up our merchandise store. So we got stuff like this cool pillow here. It says our logo on it. Yeah. And we also got the podcast crew here as well. That's me on the left there. So you can get one of the cool pillow like these. But we also have blankets, towels, wall tapestries, shirts, hoodies, baby clothes, coffee mugs, all that kind of stuff. So if you want to cop any of this cool merch, and I showed you a blue pillow, but you can literally choose any color you want. We have so many different color options for whatever merchandise you happen to get. That is on our Teespring store. So if you go to hpcritical.com and check the merch tab, you'll be able to find all that cool stuff. Now, our social media, if you want to follow us and hear about all the cool stuff we're doing, you can follow us on Instagram at HPCritical Gaming. You can follow us at Facebook at HPCritical, and our Twitter handle is at critical_HP. And if you sign up for our newsletter on the website, you'll get monthly emails on top-rated articles. You'll get stream schedules. You'll get podcast information. You'll get info on upcoming tournaments that we host on occasion, Patreon info, and every newsletter will also have a shout-out to all of our Patreon supporters as well. So, that's all for the website. Hey, Abram, where can people find you? To plug whatever you want. This is your slot.
So, right on. So, I am a gaming features writer for CBR Comic Book Resources. Of course, if you just type in CBR, you'll find them. But if you want to find my work in particular, the best way to do that is through my Twitter. If you just search Abram Buehner, you'll find me. The other thing I want to plug is I host a YouTube show called Backlog Banter with some of my friends. We talk about a lot of games and a lot of films also. So if you're into that kind of stuff, some more long-form discussion content, Backlog Banter, backspace log, space banter, we post on there pretty frequently. So I also want to just thank you again for having me on. This was
It's honestly been my pleasure.
Awesome.
It's honestly been my pleasure, honestly. You have been a great guest, and it was a lot of fun going through this. And, if there's any other games that you're interested in, I'd be happy to have you back on for this, because this was honestly a great time. Yeah, for sure. And, before I sign off, if you want to follow me on Twitter, I am at Mr. Louis Don. You can follow me for occasional posts about games that I really like and articles that I post as well, or stuff from HP Critical, all that good stuff. But anyways, I'm going to leave you guys for the night. Thank you guys for watching, and you all have a wonderful night now, and happy Mario Day to everybody, even if you're not watching this live. Bye, everyone. Good night.